The time has come, and so have I. I laughed last because you came to watch me play Devil May Cry 2 for a few hours. Hello, Cass.
Hello, Johnny. What am I doing here?
What are you doing here?
Okay, here's what I'm doing here. Charky, who was helming this playthrough of Devil May Cry 2, had something of a medical malady. Someone stuck a sword through him and stuck him to a wall, and they're okay. They're just taking a while to sort of pull themselves out the other end of the sword and back onto the ground. So they've been stuck there for God knows how long. They didn't make it to the computer in time. So, Johnny, it falls on you.
Yes.
To herald us home with Lucia's disc in Devil May Cry 2.
Yeah, we shall continue on, brought in a huge Devil May Cry 2 fan to make up for the loss of Charky. Hopefully the void will be filled. Hopefully Charky's dark soul can be filled with light.
With any luck at all. Comments in the chat already. Magic Now saying, I can't believe Charky did that just to avoid doing another stream of Devil May Cry 2. They're crafty, that one, I tell you. That's why I brought him on. Slime Generator saying, Charky's sprite looks rough today. I can tell something horrible must have happened to them. Oh, he's so mean. Well, I have watched the previous 2 episodes of this playthrough. I've seen Dante's campaign through with you.
What'd you think of it?
Well, I'm excited to get into this third disc, the third episode, the second disc, the final episode of this. But before we do... Oh, wait, I can't even cut the Charky Stream Stack segment. You know what I'll have to do? Charky did leave us a little bit of a gift prior to the start of the show today. It is a video gift, their final message... for Devil May Cry 2. That's actually not true. They actually left a review with me, so I can read their thoughts on the game at the end of the show tonight. But for now, real quick, we're going to show this off. Can you explain what I'm about to show off here? Because I sure as hell don't understand it.
Yes. So the first part of the video here is showcasing one of the amazing licensed Diesel brand outfits for Dante. He has one, and Lucia, our second character, has 2. It's some gameplay of the final fight, but also a super secret Devil Trigger form that's not mentioned in the manual. Apparently the name from it comes from the 3142 art book we referenced in the first part.
Very good. I'll get that underway then.
But it's a strange outfit, strange collab, which reportedly came about just because someone on the developer team knew someone who worked at Diesel, and they were just always, oh yeah, we should team up, we should do something,
we should collab.
Yeah. So for them it was Diesel and Devil May Cry 2, and for Square Enix it was Kingdom Hearts. Just that's how it works sometimes.
One of them got a better deal.
Yeah. So this is the quote margin form. You have to be at red health, which is something like less than 5%. You activate it, you get a super form, you do bigger attacks. Legitimately, it's such a rare form to get because you're so rarely at that low health. So, and there's probably a lot of people who've played through this game multiple times maybe and never seen it.
Sweet threads.
Yeah, you get a good look at his threads.
Well, that guy just stood there while just let that happen, basically. Seems odd to me, but...
He just couldn't compare the outfit.
Very good. So that does it for Devil May Cry. Thanks, everyone, for coming in tonight. That was the end of the game, so no, well. Okay, one thing we have to do a little differently for this episode, and I think this is interesting. I think it's going to be... to our benefit that we are playing the PlayStation 2 version, the original PS2 release, as we shift the disc 2 here. You were previously playing on that HD collection.
Yeah.
But this shall be a return to form, a look at the game as it originally was intended to be seen, I suppose.
Yeah. I know Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 3 in the HD collection have differences. For some reason, no one's really dug through Devil May Cry 2 to catalog any differences, so we just don't know.
Oh, perish the thoughts. Also, give me
Yeah.
an input. Thank you. Here we are. Well, someone's gonna have to pay for that. For the broken glass.
Yeah.
Should we mention why we picked the roll-in MIDI at the top of the show today?
Oh yes, yeah.
You go ahead. You explain.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even realize you let me know, but so a while back, Netflix announced they're doing a new animated Devil May Cry series, and they finally put out more. They specifically put out the opening, like intro for the show.
The OP.
And yeah, and the backing song they chose was Limp Bizkit's "Rollin'" (open bracket) air raid vehicle close bracket.
A jam, a bona fide jam.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's awesome,
that
inspired choice.
Yeah. It lines up nicely. The second anime, second Devil May Cry, second disc.
And my first choice for a song, if I were to choose a song for a...
you know, I'm going to skip this. I'm pretty sure this is the same. So
yeah. Before you jump in the new game, do me a favor, go to load game. Or, check any options you need to check too, I guess.
Yeah.
I downloaded a complete save here. You're going to start a new game, so you get the... so do me a favor, check out this character select.
Oh, yeah. So we got some Diesel costumes. We got this weird circus tent outfit. I don't know what they would think of this one. And there's Trish. We'll talk about her later. Don't worry. And this is another form, which comes up in the story. Funny enough, most of the story is in Lucia's disc.
Yeah, that's
so
what
we actually have
a
lot going on today. Yeah. Let's just double check the option, but it's literally just... Yep.
All right, fair enough. I just wanted to see what other options they had. Starting a new game, you'll save the slot too, I imagine. You should have the subtitles by default, right?
I don't know why. I don't remember.
God,
we'll find
I
out
hope
soon
so.
enough.
Long since.
Ah, good. Yeah.
In an age of darkness, when the earth was overrun with demons, and humans were powerless under their rule.
I remember it well.
Humanity's hope lived in a demon named Sparda, with a spirit unlike any other, and wielding the sword that bore his own name.
I was actually recording, I was doing some stuff for personal use. I was recording some stuff in Devil May Cry 1, and this intro mentions this as well. The alternative history in the Devil May Cry series is weird, that yes, demons did rule the world in this human history. And apparently when Sparda, the like big unknown legend, he apparently became the ruler, but he was like a nice ruler. And that's just the history of Earth.
Benevolent
apparently.
ruler.
Yeah.
Dante.
Which is weird, because like later in the series, they kind of treat their like fictional version of Earth as like an alternative history. Almost like a Grand Theft Auto take on Earth. It's so strange.
What's this guy doing here? It's supposed to be Lucia's disc.
Yeah, but we're seeing this intro from her perspective. Kind of. Not really. I think what it is, and there's something that we'll see in the first level that will lead more credence to this. I think they intended that, in theory, you could start any disc you wanted, even though they set it up that you would pick Dante because he's the first disc, and he's
the character you're familiar with if you're coming into a Devil May Cry 2.
He's also the marquee art. Like, it's just his portrait. Like, she's not on the front cover.
Son of Sparda.
So, I would imagine like 90% of people, if not more, would have done Dante's disc first.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this map that we're seeing here with the knife stuck in it, is this in DMC5? Am I understanding that correctly, that Dante holds on to this as a souvenir or something and puts it up in his shop?
I think it is in 4. I think you see it in Devil May Cry 4.
Okay.
So it might show up in 5 as well. The funny thing, Capcom does do a couple of like deep cut references to this game. There's a prequel Japan-only novel they did for Devil May Cry 5, where Dante comes back to this place and fights a demon with Lucia, and Lucia's like, "Oh, I'm so in love with you, Dante. You're so cool." All right, so here we are with Lucia. She's a demon hunter, brand new concept for the series. But this opening bit, we don't have combat, so this is a very weird thing about this opening. So I'll head forward here, but I'm going to pick up some red orbs while I'm doing this, and there is a good reason why.
Is this more or less where Dante starts? I don't remember.
No, so this first level for Lucia is Dante's first level backwards.
Ah.
This is the final area in level 1 for him. So we got a hand here, grabbing us. Door is sealed. We need 45 red orbs. So, in Devil May Cry 1, when you start the game, the first kind of gameplay thing you do after like getting into the castle is you're in a small like kind of foyer room of the mansion.
Yeah.
And they do this, and the reason they do this, they have a locked door and they say, hey, you need this amount of red orbs, is they intentionally place them above you to teach you the platforming without directly just doing a tutorial. You know, like, you know, to get all the red orbs, you have to learn to do this wall jump. You have to learn how the jumping mechanics work. So it's a, you know, intentional way to force the player to learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
But only Lucia gets this. Dante you just start playing and he fights demons.
You can make the argument that players who are playing as Dante should theoretically already know how a Devil May Cry 2 game plays, or Devil May Cry should play, but people who are starting with Lucia would be the first timers to the series who need to be tutorialized in this way, which doesn't make any sense, because she's disc 2.
Yeah. And also, those people who do understand the game and would pick Dante first would then pick Lucia and still have that knowledge. So
yeah. It's almost like this game wasn't well thought out or something.
Yeah. Alright, here, let's move so the camera does something. Okay, so Lucia's main weapon here are these dual knives, but her main gimmick, well, the camera's not her main gimmick, that's just Devil May Cry 2's gimmick. She's a lot closer range and does like kicks and things like that. And then instead of guns, she has these throwing daggers. She's actually, you know, they're slower than the guns. They still launch enemies though, so we can still cheese the game that way. But besides, you know, like the animations looking different, having different range, things like that, like mechanically, it is about the same. She has the launcher. She doesn't have Stinner. She just has this forward cartwheel, which I'll be real. Like this, okay, the Stinner was already not very good for Dante in this game.
Significantly nerfed from the previous game, if I recall correctly.
Also, yeah, I wonder. I know where to go. There we go. The camera only just now
acknowledges.
You have to be right there to see where you're supposed to go. Again, big advertising point in all those magazine previews I looked up was the camera was improved. Okay, and that's the level up thing, but we definitely do not have the resources to do that yet. These are the health upgrade orbs. That's the same. But yeah, this forward cartwheel, like the range is even worse than Dante's Stinner. So it's kind of just another move. The only like notable thing is it knocks down. But what doesn't knock down in this game?
Now,
but the same combat style. You mash the button, and if you're holding the stick, she does different combos.
Let me ask this: with this game in its original 4x3 presentation, do you feel like you're losing or gaining anything compared to the widescreenification in the HD collection?
Okay, so there is a slight benefit to that widescreen camera in that version. And that's because this camera is very cumbersome and doesn't really put the character in the center of the action. And, you know, enemies, like, like there, for example, the widescreen means that, you know, you get more of the player space. So when the camera is awkward and you can't really see anything, there's at least, you get a bit more to work with. There's a mechanic in a lot of the Devil May Cry games, and just the stylish action, character action, and heck, I think you'll even see these in most hack and slash action games of this type, where enemies, when they're off camera, their AI changes. Typically, they won't attack. They'll just move to position to get into camera. And in theory, going widescreen changes that, but the AI in this game on normal is so simple that I don't think you would notice a difference.
Can you do the thing as Lucia that I've seen with Dante, where you just straight up walk forward and enemies just won't be able to catch up to you, won't be able to hit you?
Oh yeah, let's just go for a stroll for a bit.
But better do it with enemies on the ground, probably.
Alright.
So maybe not the most opportune moment for me to suggest it, but...
Yeah.
Magic Meows in chat says that Lucia at least looks more interesting than Dante. I mean, I guess it depends on your preference, doesn't it? It's... I agree she looks more interesting because I like a lady, but...
Yeah. It's a decent design. Is there a secret thing there? No. I'm probably not going to find any of the secret rooms.
Oh, what a shame. You're going to miss out on those incredible combat encounters.
Okay, here we go.
Looks like there's some friendly fire happening here.
Yes.
Out of my way, boys.
Go. That's what you wanted.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the friendly fire, but it's just this game's easy enough already.
Without monster infighting as another wrinkle to it. Magic Meows did specify they meant gameplay-wise.
Oh. It does not feel notably different. And we'll talk about that more, especially when we get to the Trish stuff.
Slime Generator in chat saying, parentheses, flirting with a girl. Hey, girl, you're looking very interesting tonight. I mean, that's always been my pickup line. That's when I go to bars. Hey, girl, you're aesthetically pleasing.
I'll give it credit. Like her fighting style is very unlike anything a Devil May Cry character. You know, obviously there wasn't much precedent at the time, but it is very different in, like, on paper to Dante. And even since, like, they've not done anything different, but mechanically it does not feel like you're doing anything that notably different. And weirdly, I think it might just be what's the opposite of a placebo? Is a placebo effect, can it be negative, a placebo effect?
Yeah, absolutely. It can just be that you convince yourself of anything and then it becomes your reality.
Yeah, there's times where despite her, like, close range, she kind of feels a bit slower. It doesn't help that a lot of her hits, like, you press the button once and she does multiple hits. So you kind of feel like you're less in control. Oh, come back here.
That golem sure was savage, I tell you what. By the way, folk in chat, if you can give us just an A-OK on the audio levels, the visuals coming through, everything is honky-dory, copacetic. I'm sure it is. I'm a master of the ones and twos.
Oh, this is good. Okay, so I figured out some tech. I was recording something, and I found out... Okay, it lasted for a while, but it did eventually disappear. I found out tech in this game. So in Devil May Cry 1, you would keep your combo up when you're, like, transitioning between enemies by using the guns. The problem is the guns are incredibly powerful in this game. So if you do that, you're just going to defeat them with the guns and not raise the star meter.
Do you need that blue orb back there, by the way? Or you found this?
Yeah. I found this while testing stuff earlier.
Yeah, there was a blue orb all the way back there. I noticed at the corner of my eye. If you go, yep. Oh,
yeah, I did not see that at all. Good eye on that.
I hear those are more helpful. I'm not going to go out of the way. I'm not going to ask you to go out of your way for everything and anything, but... Try from the top of the stairs, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I'm surprised I was even able to land on there. But the tech I figured out with this game, so this game has a dedicated dodge button, unlike Devil May Cry 1, where it was tied to the jump button. And I found that if you're moving via dodges like this, that your style meter doesn't degrade. So that's how you're meant to keep your star rank high in this game, because star rank in this game is based on just how long your combo is. Not based on like move variety or being stylish.
So basically, if you just want to keep the combo going for longer, you just, instead of moving around with the analog stick, you move around with your dodges and so forth.
Yeah. Now, I did not know that it
keep the game moving, by the way.
I did not know that it retains your style after encounters. That I just found out. I'm curious how long how long someone could keep that going. But yeah, let's just safety save quick.
So one of the grades is not using items.
Yeah. Also, this is a minor thing. We didn't mention this, but this game is a bit unclear when you've saved, because it says saving, but it doesn't tell you it has saved. It just says save in.
It says saving the data is complete. The bottom line is it is complete. Is complete. Slot 1 is complete.
It's because it says save in. It's current.
They're saying that the process of saving is completed. Move on.
It bothers me though. It's not. It should be past tense.
My job, by the way, to folk at home, is to keep Johnny on track tonight. I would like to finish this campaign in a singular sitting. So.
Whereas I want to give chat as much Devil May Cry 2 as possible.
Oh, of course. They're clamoring for it. They're begging, please, 4 episodes, 5.
It's up to you to decide who's the villain in this story. Can we afford any? Okay, I'm just gonna leave that for now. And boom. Let me stand here. This is... You know, it's weird. Despite going backwards, we just went backwards to where that opening cutscene went. But now we've gone forwards to where Dante went in his campaign.
Yeah, it's a little confused, to be sure.
Oh, Slime Generator asked if we can go back to the save screen at some point.
Don't worry, I'll kill you, Johnny.
Got him.
Magic Meow saying, holding out my bowl like a Victorian orphan, asking for more Devil May Cry 2. May I have some more, please?
I gotta... But yeah, and this came up a lot in the Dante campaign. Oh, right, yeah. Oh, wow, they're doing spooky strings. It's a scary game. I mean, as a kid, because this was the first Devil May Cry, and I was a youngin' at the time, I thought this was meant to be a horror game.
It's certainly horrifying in some regard.
Because I definitely did not know better at the time.
I was going to mention about the item thing and getting a higher grade for not having to rely on items. I believe another game that does that I wasted precious hours of my life back in the day. Tenjishu, Stealth Assassins. Oh, Assassins even. Don't mind me, my monster is coating my throat a little bit. You ever fuck with the Tenchu games?
Just the PlayStation 1 demos at the time. I do mean to go back and try out the PlayStation 2 ones at some point.
They're not good! Controversial take from Cass. I spent a lot of time on the first 2 on PS1 to minimal joy. You know, I was so starved for stealth action in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like this little game called Metal Gear Solid, and I'm like, where can I get more of that?
Yeah. I was, again, very young when I was doing PlayStation 1 stuff. I just remember Tenchu being way too advanced for me. Alright, so yeah. Lucia, she has a devil trigger. And...
Seems like no big deal to her. This is the first time she's getting this ability, and she's like, alright, cool.
Okay. Why do they get game spawns enemies there? I don't know. Because we're going to do this.
Onwards and upwards.
Panel. There we go. Camera. There we go.
Why would you climb these stairs if you can just fly all the way up?
Because it's more fun. Actually, yeah, because they put stuff in the way.
Ah, all part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, not going to be getting a good style ranking grade for doing this, but I think this is just again worth showcasing because Devil May Cry has always been about like there's forced encounters because you have to, you know, prove yourself that you prove to the game you can get through encounters. You know that you aren't just cheesing the whole game. And Devil May Cry 2 is like, well, how about if you just cheese the whole game? That's an option. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, you know, we'll give you plenty of red orbs here. Even if you don't kill enemies, you can get them from this.
Yeah. They do some more interesting stuff with those in the sequels, actually, where the amount you get is based on, like, combo variety and damage done over time. Oh, there we go. Why is Lucia going up here? I don't know.
Something calling her towards the sky.
Alright. Okay, it's a cool looking area. I don't know why she came back here, though. Okay, so now we've got to...
She realized she forgot something here.
Yeah.
She lost an earring. She had to come back.
Amazing. Oh!
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 Oopsies, you ran out of devil juice there.
Yeah.
Matching because a fun fact in chat, by the way, something I wasn't privy to, that Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, the FromSoft game, was originally conceived as a Tenchu game before they decided to make a new IP. And that's for the best, because it means they didn't make another fucking Tenchu game.
Yeah, but if it was the same game but called Tenchu, then it would have been a good Tenchu game, right?
No, the Tenchu stink would have contaminated it in some sort of way.
Yeah. I do remember hearing
before
that.
anyone accused me of being a fake Tenchu player, don't worry, I've opened my right eye. As a little nod, a little reference for the Tenchu fans out there. Of which I assume some exist. They kept making those games for a minute.
I know at some point Ubisoft got the license somehow.
Sure.
Like, I think they made like a Wii Tenchu game.
That was the last Tenchu game, I believe.
Yeah.
Leave it to Ubisoft to kill it dead. They put the final nail in that coffin.
Alright, so this is a boss that was just straight up in Dante's campaign. But they actually make the room appropriate size this time, instead of that like giant room that Charky fought this guy in before. Where the guy couldn't even hit you most of the time. See, what I should just be doing is this.
That's the way it was built, isn't it? CS.
Oh yeah, I forgot when she's in the air, she spins.
CS in chat says, it's fun how DMC2 being the only game of the series, not counting the reboot, that has different missions and story for the other playable characters. I mean, doesn't DMC5?
Yeah.
Don't all those characters have different campaigns?
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
I guess they all intersect. I guess you're chaining them from one to the other because it's one contiguous campaign that swaps between characters, which is probably how this game should have been designed, isn't it?
Yeah. But they, you know, this was definitely the height of the, you know, a game's better if it's got more content, it's longer and it takes ages because
you're getting your dollars
limited
worth.
money on it, yeah. Now I'm thinking about it, but like, you know, Lucia, she's got this Devil Trigger form, and it does make sense in the story, but it's weird that it's just not come up yet. And it shouldn't make sense, because the reason Dante can do it is because he's a half demon.
What was that character's name, by the way? Tartar Russian? Tartar Rushon? Slime January says that's what Slavic Grumpy Cat's original name was.
Oh, nice.
It's a fun fact for you.
And, you know, Devil May Cry 4, even though Dante does do similar areas, and... Oh. How long do I want to do this for? You know, that's how long I want to do that for.
And don't forget that blue orb in the corn. You think they would have snuck one to the other corner in there? Well, too late to find out now.
Haha. We're so high up that we're in some sort of weird fog sphere. Ooh.
Don't mind if you do.
Little sneaky bonus.
Louise PSC asking, was that knife a weapon or something else?
Let's see. Haha. One of the holy relics that was once used to seal a great demon.
And
This
so
is story stuff that they just don't really explain. It gets more explained in Lucia's campaign.
Well, as long as the characters know, then the player doesn't have to know. As long as the characters themselves. Oh no,
So
she broke through the fourth wall there.
You're right, she did forget something. She came back here to get that dagger. I told everyone that Cass was the true Devil May Cry 2 superfan.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure it was represented accurately on the show. That's why I had to come here. That's why I had to poison Sharky's tea. I mean, never mind. I think it's good, though, that we're playing this on PS2, that you're playing it, that it gives us an opportunity to get another perspective on.
Oh, there's some of those double resolution textures there they advertised. I still cannot... Some of the texture work in this game, the gall for them to claim this game had, like, double resolution graphics.
Doesn't this mean that it's not interlaced? Are they saying that it's, like, proper 640 by 480, whereas the original Devil May Cry was interlaced 480?
I don't think this game has progressive scan. I think Devil May Cry... no, I shouldn't. I'll have... Someone look up if any of the Devil May Cries on PlayStation 2 had progressive scan modes, but I want to say they didn't.
Good grief. They really made a big mess, didn't they?
Alright, so this is basically a repeat of a Dante cutscene. But I'll use this moment just to mention... I find it really interesting. So, our character Lucia, she is a French lady with dark tan skin, red hair that covers her... I guess that's left eye? I think I've got that right. Because it's flipped. And also, and this is true, I believe it's mentioned in like one of the art books, she is the most chest well-endowed character in the series. That is canon.
Alright, very good.
I didn't make it. But there's a character in Platinum Games' Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance who is a well-endowed lady with tan skin, red hair that covers her left eye, and a French accent.
Parallel thinking.
And it's weird.
It's 7 years apart.
10
years.
Like, story and personality-wise, they're not similar at all, but it is pretty much just... I guess someone on the team was a big fan of this game. Not the gameplay, because Metal Gear Rising plays amazingly.
Looks like it's your lucky day.
Wonderful.
Now you're talking.
It leads to a harbor. If you are successful, I will tell you a story about your father, son of Sparta.
I think this French accent's as good as my French accent.
Did you obtain the other Arcanus, my dear?
Oh, there we go. New cutscene.
That's not how you hold a blade. Lady, you gotta... Don't hold it by the blade.
Well, it's an Arcana.
Have only one piece.
That's not how you hold an Arcana.
I believe that it is in the ruin.
Oh. Slime Generator has a good question in chat.
Do they have any official facts about Dante Shaft? At the very least, an amazing penis. Just like Gogo 13's. That's like Duke Togo's in his character bio. I'll watch our Gogo 13 top secret episode playthrough.
Well, I know in canon he is apparently terrible at getting into relationships. There's a cutscene, I think it's in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition.
What's Duke Togo doing in that game? What's Gogo 13 doing in?
Sadly, yeah. If he's there, he's not on camera, which is a shame. But they direct, Trish and Lady directly make fun of Dante for never getting the girl at the end of the story.
Like, I mean, I would fully believe that he's just asexual, that he's in love with combat, he's in love with fighting more than he's in love with. Like a Goku.
Maybe, yeah. But I don't know, I find some of the... I'm gonna call it like fan headcanon about him being a virgin, I think is like I don't know if it's wishful thinking or not. I don't know what to call it. But like there is side content. It seems to just all be in like Japanese only mangas and movies and shit. But there's apparently like a novelization like spin-off of Devil May Cry 2. I'm just gonna ignore those guys. I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go. That's what was happening.
Left or right, who's to say?
Yeah.
The streets of France at night. Oh.
Or yeah, this weird fake French place. Oh yeah, it's this guy again. Alright, so legitimately we are meant to run here, so I'm just gonna spin to win.
A hop and a skip.
Yeah. Which again builds style meter because I'm dodging the attacks.
Don't worry. Be stylish. Don't worry. Be stylish now.
It's still such a funny. That's what they picked for the D grade. Don't worry.
Come on. For a second, I thought this was going to be one of those secret rooms that I remember Charky attempting to find throughout the their playthrough.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah, the flying's weird. You do get stuck on stuff sometimes. There we go, health increase. Oh great, now I'm okay. I think this is the right way to go. The camera just has all turned me upside down.
Yeah, it's not the most intuitive camera I've seen.
It is. Again, they saw a big point, and apparently I think it was even mentioned in that supposed fan survey they did to gauge what people wanted fixed, and like camera stuff was a mentioned thing.
I don't even remember the camera being that bad in Devil May Cry 1, which is one of the only 2 Devil May Crys I've even played.
Yeah. Again, it's just because it's got fixed camera angles. In some areas, it's kind of annoying if it cuts when you're in action. But it doesn't actually happen that often.
I should mention, I back in the day played through all of Devil May Cry 1. Nice. I'm sure I just did it on like normal difficulty. I'm sure I didn't like feel need to replay the game or master it or do any of like the extended content. I think I just sort of brute forced my way through it. And then Devil May Cry 5, I tried to play a few years ago, like a year after it had already come out and whatnot. And I just don't got the knack for it. I don't got the knack for stylus action. But no more embarrassing case of that than you may remember from 10, 11, 12 years ago, me trying to play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
A little bit of that, yeah.
And not being able to make it past the second Blade Wolf fight because I could not figure out how to parry in that game.
Yeah.
I just could not lock that down.
You're not the only one, though. There were like quite a lot of reviews of Rising that were just, I can't parry. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to be a little smarter than the average bear when it comes to this stuff. I can bang my head against the worst of the worst, as people have told me, and I can somehow make progress through that. Yeah. But when it comes to a good game, I don't have the time to commit.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, depending on the because depending on what difficulty you use, the timing windows change. So I wonder if it's something where potentially either a smaller or bigger timing window would help. Because sometimes, like, when it's a bigger timing window, you're going for, you're expecting to have to do tighter parries, so you're going for them, like, late. Whereas when it's, like, it's kind of, I don't know if you've ever had this. You ever had in rhythm games where if a song's slower, you're actually kind of worse?
Yeah, no, I get what you're getting at, yeah.
You can sometimes have that in, like, these kind of games with parries and mechanics.
Now, that being said, I have been enjoying playing rhythm games at the arcade. None of the console ones, just because I'm not good at... I was playing Puyo Puyo Da, which was recently translated, and I could beat it on mild difficulty, but then you get up into normal, and you're expecting to press these long strings of alternating buttons, up, down, left, right, and it's just like, nope! But those rhythm games at the arcade, the Chunithm, and the one that looks like a washing machine, Waka, I think it is, those are mad fun. Those are great. And I'm okay at them. I went to a round 1 the other day and played some Waka, and I did not burn my fingers this time around. I learned my lesson from the last time I played one of those machines. That's the washing machine one. That's the circular one where it's all the touchscreen ring.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You can straight up like set fire to your fingers with that and cut them wide open.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. So yeah, so this level so far, aside from not fighting the big monkey boss, has been just Dante's, the same as Dante's. You go here, you get the flying power, not the flying, sorry, the speed one. We go back down. Oh yeah, also I do want to show, this game has a very weird move. You have to jump. Hold on, let me see if I can do it. There it is. So to do this, you have to jump, hold R1, and then press triangle as you're landing.
You're winding up in the air, like a top, like a Beyblade.
Yeah.
You're letting it rip.
And reminder that there's mention of moves, but the combos in some of these moves are not explained at all.
Why'd you go into that building just to leave it?
To get the gem.
Ah, okay.
Which apparently was optional. Maybe we didn't even need that gem.
I'm not going to dignify Slime Generator's recent chat message with a reading out loud. I carumba's all I got to say to it. It's
Anything in there? Nope. Let me just check. I want to see what the... Nope. Okay, I think it was one of these we picked up.
Yeah, I think it was the green one.
Yeah. So, on the off chance I am taking a lot of damage, I actually will help. Oh yeah, this cool boss. Again.
Now, she appears to have the biggest chest, to be the most well-endowed character I've seen in
Oh
Devil
yeah,
May Cry.
she's not a hero character, unfortunately, so don't count. Okay, apparently. Yeah, so this is one of those bosses where this is pretty much the only way you can really fight them, because you can't really melee. Well, you can try, but it's not very effective to use melee on these tentacles, because
that'll happen.
The problem with, yeah, like even if you dodge, like let me try it here. It's not like Dark Souls, you don't get that much iframes on it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tank this poison damage here in the devil form.
Because you're healing faster than it's damaging you, or on par with how much it's damaging you, which is...
Yeah.
So is it exciting? Is it fun? Is it... Do you feel like you're performing some stylish actions here?
Oh, well, I did that. Okay, so you can melee a bit. Apparently, I just have to be in the right position and the AI forgets to fight you. Oh! What is going on with the camera here? Okay, now I need to get out of there. Oh, and the other tech I found out is there is a quick get up. I wasn't quick enough there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I've just found if you mash the dodge button when you're in the air and falling over, you eventually will just, like, kip up. Yeah, see, at some point, the tentacles just leave you alone. I don't know why.
I mean, they can only focus on so many attacks at once. They're doing their poison breathing thing right now. It takes a lot of mental acuity.
Oh, yeah. I know why in my brain I guess because they don't share health bars. I'm like, these are separate beings. No, don't target that. Oh, fucking auto lock.
Oh, what a joke. No, sorry, I meant to say jokaklom.
Yeah. Let's just... There we go. Well, so nice. We had to fight it twice.
And just phased directly into the ground. We couldn't come up with a better death animation for this. At least you're well rewarded here. I presume. Oh, how are you supposed to get that thing in the center if you can't?
Oh, well, they just gave it to me. There we go.
Skids. All right, this was mission 3 of how many in Lucia's campaign?
13.
All right, that's decent progress.
Yeah. And boop. I want to mention this save music. There's a background sound effect that kind of sounds like the Tom and Jerry like yell. The one he does. I don't know what the name for it is. Is it the Tom and Jerry one?
There might be. My favorite Tom and Jerry sound is Jerry giving that monologue about how worthless his life is before he lays himself on the train tracks in that one episode. Everyone always forgets that one.
Okay.
And for good reason, I would assume.
Alright. We'll just get the health up.
Holly Olliart says that's an amazing observation that you made, by the way. Your ability to parse sound is... I want a rap sound that just samples cartoon yelps, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry et al.
I mean, if there's that fucking... I found out, by the way, I mentioned in a previous stream of a Fortnite Festival song that has Dragon Ball sound effects in it. It's by an artist called Juice WRLD.
Oh,
there are a couple songs in Fortnite Festival. I do not like them.
Oh, fake Tom and Jerry fan Slime Generator is calling me because it was actually Tom, who was actually, by the end of the episode, I'm still half right because both of them lay down on the tracks at the end because they both get spurned by the same lady.
Okay, so you can mash the shoot range button if you do want to do faster attacks.
Holly Olliart says that Tom and Jerry had some iconic yells with all their slapstick. The yell is an essential part of the slapstick. I mean, what would the Three Stooges be if not for whoa, 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 and so on and so forth? One thing to get hit in the face with a ruler or a pipe or to fall down some stairs, but if you're not making funny sound effects while you're doing it, then what's the point of all that suffering?
Okay, so despite how easy this game is, it actually is quite easy, ironically enough, to get hit. And the reason why is because when you're like in these attack animations, especially some of Lucia's that are really long, you can't cancel out of them. Also, I should show this off. This is her devil trigger range attacks. I think they lock on.
I'd presume so. Most shit in this game locks on, right?
Yeah. But when you're doing like stuff like this, you can't just like easily dodge out of it. You have to wait for the animation to finish, which is very Devil May Cry. But it means that you can like get into a combo, especially some of her like really long combos, and just be locked into the animation, and you can't avoid damage. So
it's everyone's favorite enemy.
Yep. Oh, she doesn't get a sick cutscene though. She just has to. She just has to look at it. Whee!
Her moves, you can't keep up with them. She's walking in a straight line, but she's jumping around. She's doing a sort of spin move. Her missiles will just fly right past her.
So yeah, if there's that combo there, if you're doing that combo and you need to dodge a hit, you're screwed.
What an intense fight. What a...
Yeah. Oh, there's an attack that won't hit me, but see that?
It really puts a Solid Snake to shame. I mean, Solid Snake beat a tank with just a handful of hand grenades.
Yeah.
But Lucia beat a tank by just hitting it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Kicking it.
I don't remember
if it does more damage to attack that little like weak spot looking thing.
But the problem, I think it does a little. But the problem is there's a little machine gun on the top there, and it will hit you.
Yeah, fuck that. Go with what works.
Ooh, wah, ooh, wah. And yeah, like I said, you don't really have to worry about combo variety. It's just how long can you combo. So we could just constantly front flip and get S-Rag, baby!
Showtime!
Yeah, also builds a star rank pretty quick as well. Let's take care of these birds. There we go. Okay, luckily I don't think we have to fight. Yep.
Well, you didn't even get a chance to pick up those red orbs.
Look at that! I got the S-Dabs rating.
The elusive, the much vaunted. Sad dabs.
Legit, I think that's the highest stylish average I've ever seen in this game. It is very hard to get anything above a B. Just all this random hidden tech I keep finding recently about using the dodges and all that.
Well, that means the game's actually great. I remember a wise man once told me that there's a bunch of hidden shit in the game that 99% of players won't be able to access or know about. It's actually good. It's actually cool. Actually, hidden depth.
All right. You know, this will help me in the long term. So. More Devil Trigger, always useful. So yeah, we're back indoors in this weird factory thingy.
You saw the Ouroboros banner on the plane flying by, and thought to check out the lab.
Yeah. Down the stairs we go. Oh, more enemies. Oh wow.
Now, are you going to be suffering, feeling it for not collecting all the secret rooms and as many red orbs as possible, and 100%ing this game in the way that I'm sure the MC2 fans will complain?
In this playthrough, no. If someone wants to actually beat this game on the hardest difficulty, there are a couple of boss fights that actually do require a lot of health and resources. So for those, having max level, having all the blue orbs and stuff there, that's useful. I'm just gonna stop fighting now.
She's over it.
There we go. Yeah, and we'll talk about it because there is a specific fight. I want to say, because so far we've seen, aside from that second level where we were kind of climbing on the inside of that building, these have all been reuses of Dante areas, but she goes through them a lot quicker. They just straight up cut parts out, boss fights or just whole areas. Yeah, stop doing your spinny moves.
It is strange to me how much more abridged this character's campaign is, which I guess, for our purposes tonight is fine by me, but is ultimately
works out for us.
A disservice to the character and to them becoming what was, I guess at one point they were meant to be the person who takes over for Dante, right? At some point that was some part of the vision.
I don't know if that was it specifically, but there was the mention that this game was going to star a different guy, some guy with a green jacket. I'm wondering how much of, they don't mention in the art book, but I do wonder how much of. Oh yeah, here we go. Nope.
No.
Don't spin around.
Pick up the fucking thing, Johnny.
I'm trying. There we go. I got the cranky bomb.
Well, I'm certainly in a sour mood, so that's.
I could be wrong. I might have missed one of the weapons. She has a a spread throwing knife weapon.
Oh no! What will we do without it?
I might have missed it.
Louise PSC asking in chat, by the way, what is that enemy name? Puya? P-U-I-A.
I think so, yeah. We'll double check because
they're pickup artists with an extra letter. When they're not busy trying to. This is actually their way of negging Lucia here. This is part of their technique.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Naruto run.
Just because you have meter to burn.
I think what's happening there is you turn the fan back on, and you need to do this speed up to make it pass, because even without this gem equipped... Oh no, I don't have the proper speed up gem yet. But you do move faster when you're in the Devil Trigger form. Okay, so I think we go here now. Remember this door? It said it was not powered or something? Yep, there we go.
And now it is. Hate it when that happens.
What? I'm trying to remember if there's a story reason for that. The demon stone at will absorbs the possessor's power. Funny enough, there's a level in Devil May Cry 3 that does this.
So gives you a devil heart, or?
Well, it's a specific part of the game where you pick up this item you need to take back to a door, and it drains your health, but like, I think it makes your Devil Trigger a bit better. Oh, there's an item in there.
Yeah, I saw it.
But also, the enemies are just, like, dropping health and stuff a lot more. Hey, look at that.
Now this camera angle's a reference to Metal Gear Solid. No.
Oh, if only.
Holly Ollie Art is mentioning the "Where is my wife" fit. Have you heard of this phenomenon? It is the concept of, because you mentioned how the original protagonist for this game was meant to be some guy in a green jacket, and Holly Ollie Art points out that describes a lot of horror male protagonists. See James from Silent Hill, Alan Wake, the Evil Within protagonist. The "Where is my wife" fit. Where is my wife's starter pack? Rusty pipe and a pistol.
Ooh. This is I do like the way this form looks, at least. I do think it's a cool looking form. Oh,
she looks like if Piano 3 had a Devil Trigger.
Oh yeah, here's the bombs.
Cool.
Check this out. Haha. So yeah, so there are a couple of different moves. If you're holding a direction, she lobs it. If you just don't hold a direction, she does that. Bloop.
She's a regular Samus Aran, laying a line of mines down.
Yeah.
I'll give it this Piano 3?
Nah, unfortunately. At some point.
It's stylus action on the GameCube.
Yeah, I've definitely seen footage of it. It's a very weird looking game. Nope. Honestly, it's not worth finding them because that fin just blows up and hurts you. So.
Are you slowly losing health this whole time too, by the way?
Yeah, like I said, that's what the mission they build a mission around that in Devil May Cry 3 as well. But it's very slow.
Magic Meow's pointing out that Piano 3 is a very ass-centric game in a way that Woke has taken from us. Shut up.
Hey, it's true. You can't buy anymore. Coincidence?
People aren't gonna know you're joking around when you use. You're being ironic when you say that.
I will say, this does remind me. I'm not gonna out who it is because it's a very famous VTuber, but they on their highlight channel, it's like a highlight of them playing the first Bayonetta, and I'm guessing the editor or whoever like runs their kind of channels named the video, and the name of the video was, "Oh, they don't make games like this anymore." It's like,
boy.
Bayonetta 3 is like what, a year old?
They just don't make them like they used to.
They literally
back in 2024.
Well, I don't think that's what they were trying to say. I think
no,
they were
but
just saying like, but it's like no, they do. Bayonetta 3 came out. I know you know, I haven't played it because I want to at some point like go through the full series again and stream it somewhere. But I know like the take I always hear about it is that it's not bad, but if you're like a big into the stylish action stuff and the Bayonetta game specifically, it's a bit of a letdown.
Can I say this is a hideous room, by the way? This is just the textures here. Is just, I mean, I guess that's a lot of the rooms in this game, isn't it?
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I know, like, one of the defense I saw this game was meant, and I think it was a comment on the YouTube channel, wasn't it? Oh, here's these darts.
And then look at that dude just chilling there.
Yeah.
That's maximum relaxation. I wish that were me. I wish I could relax that hard.
Yeah. So here we go. We got these. I'll tell you right now, those suck.
They're the shotguns of kunai.
Yeah.
I always think of whenever I'm struggling to
like
go to
evil
sleep.
Heart, huh?
Yeah, I suppose so. Whenever I feel like I'm struggling to get to sleep, I think of the Garfield comic where like Garfield's like having a hard time, so he has to like prop himself up, one arm with a broom and another with like, you know, he wraps like a piece of tape around, so that's hovering up in the air, and he's just like asleep standing up with his head tilted back. I was like, maximum relaxation. If only I could achieve such bliss.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, Devil May Cry 5 wasn't even that good. Like, I haven't actually watched the video because it's just, well, I know Bayonetta. I don't need to see a highlight video of someone playing Bayonetta for the first time. But it's just, it's a very clickbaity title. It's just, it just bothered me. It's like, it was not that long ago Bayonetta 3 came out. Is there anything over here? Let me see if I can lead my children over here. Nope.
While you doing, I'm going to read some messages from chat. Slime Generator says in AVGN voice, let me see if I got this in me. Devil May Cry? More like Devil May Come, because I'm gonna come! Or something like that. I don't know, I don't got a James in me. And then someone made a reference to Geek Spooge. People asking, can we invite Geek Spooge on the show? Yeah, I tried sending him a letter, and it came back crusty.
The snot rag.
Yeah. Chef Chili is saying they don't think the AVGN ever made cum jokes. Who's to say? No one's gonna watch new AVGN to find out, are they?
Okay, well, I know at least one example where I don't remember his name. The guy from is it Trauma? Truma videos?
Trauma.
Yeah, I think he made a cum joke in the video. He was in.
I might point out there's a Seaman episode, and if there's not a cum joke in that one, then
oh, okay, yeah, that's
then James is a stronger man, a stronger-willed man than I.
Surely he does.
Did you skip that cutscene? No. Okay, I see.
Nope.
It's just bad cutting, bad editing. Essential. Oh, ADDDS. Yeah, I have that. I have that affliction. I struggle with it every day.
Alright, back up.
I am Headful asking, when's the 11-hour Seaman streamcast? When I fucking die. When I'm dead and buried.
Clip it, chap.
It told me to it.
Yeah, hold them to it.
Can I leave you alone for like 2 or 3 minutes?
Can you trust me?
Yeah, to keep it moving. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Here's that. The defect is back.
Defect?
You are my creation.
Liar! Mathieu is my mother.
She merely found you when you were about to be disposed of, and then raised you as a soldier. Is that what you consider to be a mother?
No! I don't believe you.
Here's a good. I'll read this. Yeah, Chef J asks, have you played the PlayStation 2 Ghost Rider game? It has a similar style system, but plays well like God of War. I've messed with it. It is really cool. But I want to do like a full thing with it on my own. I'm gonna be careful. There's a lot of games I've not done playthroughs of because I want to make a video or stream them at some point and keep putting it off.
Complete, and I will become.
I still like him wearing a jacket like a cape.
I will achieve absolute.
Again, I fuck with that look.
And
That's. I'm one of the. I've never seen anyone else in the UK do it, but I definitely do it. Which I've probably doxed myself, because if you see some fucking guy in the street wearing a jacket like a cape, then it's probably me.
to its original form.
Okay, so yeah, here's our big story point. Lucia is not... She's not a demon. She's like a artificially created demon.
Back just in time for it.
Yeah. Which feels like this cutscene should have been in Dante's campaign. Oh yeah, this cool area again. Nope.
Chef Chelios in chat, by the way. I don't know if you...
I've read that.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So it's in some ways it's a neat idea, but also they are kind of just reusing the concept from Devil May Cry 1, where Trish is a demon that Mundus created, apparently. But I think the implication is like she's not created in the same way. She's closer to like a meta-human, I guess. I'm not sure. They don't explain it very well. But
well, luckily in the sequel games, they fully explore Lucia's character. They definitely follow up on her and what she's up to. And
again, there's a Japanese-only prequel novel to Devil May Cry 5 that actually does. So, not in the games though.
I'm holding out for the drama CD. Oh, it's Mothra.
Yeah.
Did Sharky make that joke the first time through? I'm sure they did.
Alright. So this is a cool boss fight because it flies high above you, so you have to do this for a while. Oh yeah, and these fucking fins. This is one of the fights I think I was able to beat it when I did my Dante Must Die playthrough, but this was one that was definitely a massive pain in the ass.
I mean, it looks like it's taking forever.
Well, half the problem is that she won't
lock on to the main thing.
There we go.
It's lucky she brought enough knives for this. It's lucky she brought 2 billion knives on her for...
And we don't have Dante's magic gun. Oh, okay. Normally you just activate Devil Trigger to get out of moves like that, but I had to actually like mash buttons.
I mean, Lucia's new to this whole Devil Trigger thing. I mean, she only just got it like about an hour ago. I assume.
We don't know. She never says. There we go. Now the real Devil May Cry 2 starts here.
You finally made it, friends.
Hey, thank you kindly, Arbitrary Water. Don't mind us. We're just putting an end to Devil May Cry 2. As we do. Because at the Bad Game Hall of Fame, we finish what we start. We're here to finish the fight. And there it is.
Not quite.
Still some leftovers to deal with.
There's a really cool death animation going on here. But the main thing is we still have to fight these stupid things.
You should probably just die when their mother, when the thing that spawned them, dies.
I guess that's actually the fast way to do this fight, is just to intentionally get eaten. But apparently that's harder than it looks, because even standing still I can't get eaten.
Can't get them to behave as expected. Wow, that was intense. Oh my god, it's still going.
There we go. Yeah, this part just keeps going. It's weird. I don't know why.
Because you're getting your dollar's worth, goddammit. This is how you extend playability. Oh my god.
Yep.
This is...
Okay, now is it over? Yay! I am speed up a bit because you do find the knives faster if you're mashing the button. Oh, we're here now. Why not? That did happen a lot in Dante's campaign, to be fair. He would just randomly teleport.
That's why I have this ability.
She's talking about all I'm seeing are these items I can pick up after this cutscene's over.
This is maybe a deep question, considering we're talking about Devil May Cry 2 here. How do you feel about story narratives where characters have existential crisis when they've been, quote, like, artificially created? Like, oh, I'm a clone, or like, oh, someone did this magical spell and did this.
I'll come back to that. First, I want to read Slime Drainer's comment that says, the part of the audience that really wants to see beautiful women being devoured by worms is hooting and hollering right now. Yeah. They're eating good tonight. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. As far as the existential
crisis
they're
eating really good tonight.
I think, you know, Solid Snake handles it pretty well. I think the reveal of the Les Enfants Terribles and so on and so forth, I think he's, you know, he gets past. He's like, well, I've lived my life. You know, ultimately, I am who I am. I think that is, you know, ultimately the right takeaway from that sort of reveal, from that sort of knowledge, is just being like, well, I mean, I've still been alive for how many years on this earth? The decisions I made are my own.
Yeah, see, because this might be, like, a very cynical, like, nihilist take. Also, underwater section. We'll get more into this in a sec. But when I see those stories, I'm like, well, yeah, but also people who, you know, 2 humans procreated and created you, and they did it for their benefit. So that's just being alive. Like, that's we all do that.
Yeah, you say that, then it's gonna be revealed that you came out of I don't know, a bag factory, that you were just mass produced, that you know, as a little bag, as a young bag, you were just
I'm Fifi from Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah. And it's gonna rock your world.
Yeah, I think that Final Fantasy IX covers that well, because it kind of flips it on its head, where like it has that. Well, you not play Final Fantasy IX. I won't spoil it for you. Also, I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. Just for laughs.
Great.
Yep. Does not help. Also, I'm curious about something here. I want to check this quickly. Apparently the manual claims that this will let you know if certain enemies are weak to guns or swords. Nope. That's a lie. Thanks, manual.
Chev Chelios is sad because I did not read their comment, which just explicitly said that this is the Vor level when you're fighting me. You gotta put a little crap, you gotta put a little English on it. You know, you gotta... Sometimes subtlety, dancing around the word is... That's my advice for humor. Take it from me, famous comedian Cassidy, who has to now come up with excuses because I just straight up missed the comment initially. Because I straight up... Oh, Chef Chili does have a question, though, and I can actually answer this one. Haven't gotten to the Clone Saga comics yet in the Spider-Man run, but how does Ben Reilly take to learning he's the clone after thinking he was the real Peter? We'll ask Peter Parker, who for a while thinks that he is the clone. Oh, and it goes back and forth between those two, and God, it's fucking insufferable. What a shitty run of comics. What a stupid fucking idea.
Yeah. By the way, that's where the end of the level with it, because it's not obvious.
Yep. Please to watch a video by Comic Tropes, my favorite comic book YouTuber, in fact the only one I watch, who covers the Clone Saga in some detail and really picks apart just how like meandering and miserable and how many just missed opportunities and so on and so forth. What a miserable run. That's the sort of shit that puts people off of comic books forever. That and shit like the end of the Ultimate Run, the original end of the Ultimate Run, where they just killed off half the characters and then decided, we'll keep it going anyway. Tastes like chicken, etc.
Mm-hmm. So, Devil May Cry 1, heck, you played Devil May Cry 1, so you know this cast had underwater levels, and they were probably the weakest aspects of that game.
Yeah, probably best left behind in that game. I don't think it was the thing that people were clamoring for. Yeah. I wonder if those surveys they conducted, if some fucking joker just for a laugh said, more water levels, more underwater sections.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have gotten Michael Phelps to weigh in on those. He wasn't qualified.
Yeah. They were different though, because they were like first-person segments, and mainly the combat was like very basic. It was just like an auto lock-in, like bow gun. Oh, I did not mean to do that. See, in most Devil May Cry games, just you press a button to confirm if you want to use a door, and I guess you don't in this one. But here they try to make them like third-person action stages. And I do not think they're better for it. Like, they're more proper levels, quote-unquote, but as we'll go through this level, we get exclusive power, though. Aqua Heart. Magic stone with the heart of a swimming demon fish.
Oh, that's gonna come in way handy beyond this fucking water section, right? Let's keep that equipped for the rest of the game. It reminds me of, as I've always said, my favorite, the only MMO I ever loved, Anarchy Online, which one of the reasons I loved it because it had such granular skill point investment and distribution. You could invest in anything across any character. So you could, like, make these weird-ass builds with characters who, you know, are supposed to be spec'd in one way, and start dumping stats into whatever you please. And one of the stats you can invest in, and you can sink all your points into for basically no benefit, swimming. And when I was first playing that game as a youngin', I thought, you know, I have to have a well-rounded character, so, you know, I gotta make sure there's some points in swimming, only to realize, like, oh, no, that was just a waste. Oh, no, you don't want to do that. Why would you do that?
Yeah. So we picked up other melee weapons there, but just like Dante, it's the same attacks. They just have different range and attack speed. And it's so minimal that it's not really worth it, and I've already put an upgrade point into these. So there you go. Okay, no.
Did you switch to the demon fish form?
No, no, it's equipped, so I just have slightly better swimming speed now.
Alright, very good.
So, I think we go up first.
Tiger Chimera says, you know, I would not have guessed that this series had any water levels at all. 2003, developers hadn't yet learned.
Yeah, spoilers for the rest of the series. They did not return.
You know, some people complain and bemoan when a character falls in water and immediately drowns. Like, whoa, why can't this character swim? And my response to that has always been, do you want the character to swim? Do you want to have, like, swimming sections? Do you want to have to paddle your way back to shore and then climb your way up? Or would you rather have as you just, like, you know, screen fades to black and it puts you back on top of whatever platform you fell off of?
I like how the Insomniac games Spider-Man works, where he just automatically jumps out and just goes, ugh. Don't like that, my suit's all wet.
Have you ever seen a spider swim?
Maybe. I don't remember, though. I don't trust my memory on that.
I think there actually are, now that I mention it, I think there are, like, species of spider that just crawl along the water surface.
I think there are some that, like, they skirt on water. That's what I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember if that was, like, a dream or not. So this is an annoying section because, you know, these skull guys are here. You auto lock onto them.
You're trying to hit these orbs.
Yeah. No, you can hold R2 to disable the auto lock. Though I am curious. Doesn't seem to be
helping much.
No. I'm curious because I remember when Sharky was playing the HD collection, apparently it wasn't working for them. And I wonder if that's like a bug that's in certain releases. It at least works here. These guys are fun, but they are legitimately just stolen from Devil May Cry 1.
I gotta ask you, as a baghead, how do you get along well with skullheads?
No, one day we'll all be skeletons, so...
Even the bagheads? I would assume there would be no skull there. I'd assume that, you know, once you pass on, the bag just kind of collapses, deflates.
There's a body below it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I'm trying to think now if I've ever seen a video game enemy that is a skeleton with a bag on its head.
They have to preserve some of their modesty.
I do have an exhaustive list, but I don't remember if any of them are skeletons with bags on their head.
Louise PSC asked another lore question here. Are bagheads biodegradable?
Well, you know, as long as it's not a plastic bag.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that if you run with a plastic bag as your bag head, you're not really lasting for long. I guess you're... it's a short existence.
Yeah. Like a candle in the wind.
You know, we're really going to need to expand on the baghead lore in months and years to come. Get your lore video out at some point.
I don't know if I'd ever do it, but I do have like a hypothetical lore video in my in my memory banks. Right, yeah, we got platforming, but tell you what I'm gonna do. Okay, I've got full devil trigger. Nope.
Yeah, this makes sense to me. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Oh, fuck you, game.
Are they not letting you do... That's... Wow.
Yeah.
Rude.
It just doesn't work.
Forcing you to engage with this mechanic. With this subpar platforming.
Yeah. That's maybe one of the only times they do that. Like, most of the time, if you can't fly up, it just feels more like the game breaking. Like, weird invisible ceilings, but that was not that.
Tiger Chimera asked, wait, are those platforms flashing? Is this a timed platforming section where you have to get out of the water and then platform fast enough? No, I think it's just visual effect. I think it's just something to give it a little bit of flair in it.
Yeah. Viewers will have to try that for themselves. Get this far in the game and then just sit there for 5 minutes, see what happens.
And then quickly stop playing immediately after.
Yeah. Right, so now we're going to go back. I'm trying to remember if there's a quick descend in the water button. Okay, I think holding circle makes you... Yeah, it does. Okay, it's not that quick, but it is quicker.
Ay, ay, ay.
Whee! I guess her being like an artificially created demon, so you can say, oh, that's why she can breathe underwater. Don't worry about it.
No, she actually has a rebreather hidden in the in her little coat cloak thing. Her scarf. What would you call this?
It's like a half cape. Half poncho?
Yeah, we'll go with half poncho.
Oh, here we fucking go. Okay.
There is a spaghetti western protagonist who uses knives instead of guns. He's in that one Lee Van Cleef movie I can't remember the name of. But he's a cool character.
Yeah. So you thought underwater level was bad, how about an underwater boss fight?
Ugh. Slime Generator saying, you're surprised that Lucia can breathe underwater? Clearly you are ignorant of French culture. Little known French
I am. I've only been there once and it was... Oh, it might have been decades ago at this point.
I had a friend who just recently got back from France in the last month or so. They took a vacation there. And their claim was that the streets were like a giant ashtray with just how many people there smoke still. And that at one point someone walked up to him and just blew the smoke directly in their face just to express their distaste for tourists, for American tourists.
That does sound very French.
I know my uncle visited France like 30, 40 years ago, and ended up getting into a fist fight that got him kicked out of the country. He claims a French person started it, which I believe.
Yeah. Alright, so, mechanics of this fight. So this fish likes to be invisible. And when he's invisible, you cannot target him.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Arbitrary Water says, oh boy, you're in the underwater level. They said, what can we do to make DMC2 better?
Cut this. Just cut this.
More levels. Have Lucia be the underwater Devil May Cry character. Have that be her specialty.
Now, I'll mention it because it is pertinent to that question. So there is a fan mod for the PC version, which I believe the name of it is Devil May Cry 2 Definitive Edition, which is
presumptive name.
Yeah, but it's a modification of the game. Reportedly from a review I watched, it is made solely with cheat engine, so just like modifying the game, which is impressive for what it is. And yeah, it's an attempt to make the game play
Playable.
better. And I haven't played it myself, but I watched a really comprehensive video on it. And it does seem really interesting. They take a lot of moves that are exclusive to the Devil Trigger form, or like that weird jump and land move that you would never do because it's such an awkward input, and build new combos. They change the animation speeds. You can't dodge under. You can. There is a you can't dodge underwater. By the way, the dodge button does nothing.
Arbitrary Water says that they messed around with that mod. Mentioned it's just a cheat engine table. It makes Dante and Lucia more responsive, but it can't really salvage this thing. And Slime Generator saying that they feel like Lucia would know how to blow smoke rings. I have never blown a smoke ring until sometime a couple weeks ago, where I was out smoking and I accidentally blew a perfect smoke ring, and I spent the rest of my cigarette, the rest of my drag, trying to figure out how did I do that. That was awesome. Yeah, so that's a follow-up, by the way, for people who are wondering how my quitting smoking journey is going. It's not. If I can update intermittently on this this saga of me trying to quit smoking. I fell off the wagon some time ago.
Yeah. You would not get along with Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry characters don't like smoking.
Neither do stand users, from what I recall. It makes your nose twitch.
Let's see. Okay, no. Honestly, I think I'm just going to save to upgrade the knives, because I think there's going to be a range boss at some point again. So that's last boss fight there. On the hardest difficulty, I could not beat it. It was invisible for so long and moved so fast and was impossible to target that I think I tried it for like an hour, half an hour or longer, and just it was probably an hour plus, and just could not beat it. And it is, and you know, with like, it's that health bar was already probably too big. The health bar is like 5 times bigger on the hardest difficulty. Also,
this is an exciting fight here, by the way, can I just say?
Well, there is a fun fact. These are enemies from Devil May Cry 1, and they only appear in this level. You did fight them underwater in Devil May Cry 1, but they also were on land, and they're the enemies that came back in Devil May Cry 4. They're like the lizard guys with the shields.
Blades.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we are still underwater. Has it been like 30 minutes of this?
No. That's just the magic of Devil May Cry. It sticks with you so much you feel like you've been there forever.
You've always been here playing Devil May Cry 2.
Now we gotta go up to this thing. Reflect my power. Well, let me get away first. Jeez.
Play tennis with me.
I'm trying to remember what attack is the best one. Okay. Right, the best attack might just be mash. I think this is a puzzle in Dante's campaign. I think he might do it in Devil May Cry 1 as well, and it's a lot easier there.
Really a thinking man's puzzle.
Haha! The Walder, it is back. I have a pro tip.
Pro tip, go up.
Alright. I'll do this, just do this just in case I need the red orbs.
Yeah, there ain't
like
no
I said, it's mainly just for the range upgrade, because that free face boss, I want to say Lucia fights it as well, but I'm not sure. Because despite having played this, you know, game a few times, and even doing that hardest difficulty run a year or two ago, just, a lot of it did not stick with me.
Speaking of things not sticking with you, I feel like this game is going to be like in one eyeball out the other for me once we're out the other side of it, you know? It really is amazing that this sold well enough, reviewed well enough. They kept at it. They kept at this Devil May Cry thing after this one.
Well, you know, we mentioned it in the big history section of the first part, but Devil May Cry 3, a lot of that came out of spite of just the developer team being like, we can do better than this. We can, without the stupid circumstances that created Devil May Cry 2, we can do something.
I mean, I guess, you know, we're being really mean to this game, and it's only because it's tedious and largely boring, but for 2003... Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
You were saying?
But, you know, for before stylus action was a thing, you know, when it wasn't really cemented as a genre quite yet, I mean, I guess this would have been, you take what you can get, right? I mean, it's like the same for me playing Tenchu, like I mentioned earlier, like I alluded to earlier. I was so hard-pressed for stealth action that I was going to take it wherever I could get it.
I think 99% of people would have just replayed Devil May Cry 1. There was probably some other. I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know, when was Bujin Guy? When did that come out?
Slime.
Or like or Ninja Gaiden on Xbox.
Yeah, that would have been like 2003-ish, I think. Right? Slime Generator in chat says, they call it Devil May Cry because if the devil played this game, he would cry. Because of how bad the game was. Because of cringe.
Okay, this didn't work last time, but let's just see. Oh!
No!
Oh. Okay, almost.
You can use it to at least, like, land on that platform that you were... Well, you're gonna lose it in a second, so...
Okay, well, at least I'm here.
Ugh. This camera
Remember,
is
though,
disorienting.
Devil May Cry 1 platforming was just as bad as that. I wouldn't say it's, like, worse here.
Wow, something like these games shouldn't have platforming or something. It seems like these combat-centric games don't need the extra layer of platforming action.
Well, they got there eventually. Devil May Cry 5 did some okay stuff with it, because it was pretty much just for secrets, and they actually made the air movement feel decent in that one.
Thank God someone's thought to install lights in this place. Electric lights. The wiring in this place must be crazy. Calling an electrician over. Yeah, you're gonna need to swim through like 3,000 feet of...
I don't think I saw those. Do I have to?
I don't think you do. I think those are there for decoration. Huh? Well, what was the point of that thing then? What are you... What's the point of any of this?
I think there's something here.
Is it like hitting them in order or something? Is it some sort of puzzle? Of some sort? Oh. Thank God they're giving you such great feedback on it.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like something like this happened in Dante's campaign as well. Yeah, there was like a wall that Sharky had to break, and it wasn't that obvious that it was taking damage.
One of the worst examples of that in video game history, I know we've been mentioning Metal Gear a few times tonight, Snake's Revenge on the NES.
Oh!
Where there are certain objects that you need to lay C4 on to explode, and you have to use like 10 or 12 charges on some of them, it feels like, to get them to actually activate, and there's no indication you're doing any damage to them at any point during the process of it. Dire stuff. Things that we put up with back in the days as gamers in the 80s and early 90s and so forth. What if the secret here is that you need to damage them all to the point of breaking, but not quite break them, and then break them all in a row, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, fuck. Ugh. Okay, what is the prize for this, even?
I think I'm gonna see if I can skip it, because I think it might be a Devil Trigger gem.
What will we do without it?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I let everyone down there. I could not. Oh no! He's back!
Round 2.
See, it's a lot harder now because he's far away, so he can't hit you. Alright.
Imagine if Wild West quick draws were just people standing apart 50 feet from each other, one person barely reaching, the other person throwing an endless barrage of knives. Really would have improved the genre, the film genre.
Oh, okay, so there are some invincibility frames on Lucia's attacks, it looks like, which I did not remember. There you go, I think I did the quick get up there by accident.
Tiger Chimera saying they're getting Sonic Adventure flashbacks from having to fight the same boss in a different character's storyline. Yeah.
Yep. People moan about Devil May Cry 4, and rightly so. They do that too much. But it's happened before. At least in Devil May Cry 4, you've got good combat.
You're disparaging the combat in this game? Pray tell, why?
Oh, yeah. Tell you what, once the stream's done, we'll you can watch it again.
I'll have to take you up on that. Look at that big old disco ball. This place must have had some crazy dance parties back in the day.
Oh, I don't know why there's a lightning bolt there, but that was cool. Oh, I think it might be the gem I have. Aha, so we're syncing up campaigns now, because even though we fought the same boss, the Dante fights here.
Now we can stop Arius's ambition.
Whatever.
But actually,
God, this characterization of Dante sucks so much.
bring this to Mathieu for me. Please.
Like, legitimately, in Dante's campaign in the story, he went to an oil rig. Arius is like, blah, I'm evil. And then Dante left the oil rig and got here. And that's the only story that happened that Lucia wasn't around for.
Really missing out on these essential beats. Slime,
right,
it's a funny comment, but I don't have the AVGN voice in me. It's too long for me to not have an AVGN voice to read that.
Alright, so now I'm pretty sure we are done with water levels.
Louis VSC saying maybe I gave you too much credit before, Slime. I apologize to the whole audience and the streamers for my actions. It's a little drama developing in the chat right now.
Tycho Man says, you need to watch another Devil May Cry game and see how Dante normally acts. Yeah. Heck, I'll play one. They're great games. They do have easy modes.
For a defect, you show promise. But did you really think you could deceive me? Have you come back to me, Kai?
I'm Lucia.
That cutscene feels like it's missing, like,
Kai.
her coming up with this plan to come here.
Yeah. Defeating one of her doppelgangers or one of the other clones to... That could have been a fight you had.
You seek my death.
Oh, his nose. Did you see that? His nostrils were animated. That was weird looking. Alright, here we go. Some sick boss fight. Oh, he smokes. See, Cass, I told you it was evil.
Oh, man. I must be a villain, too. Oh, he's got a sick revolver and everything.
Let me get
wine
behind
bottle
him.
at him. Yep.
Ah, fucking wall run. Never mind.
Wow, what an intimidating antagonist. He's striking fear into my heart with his moveset, his awareness.
No. Yeah. So ironically, he sucks, but this fight and this other boss fight on the hardest difficulty because the enemies have so much more health and constantly spawn and do the mode where they stop getting staggered from hits, makes again some of the hardest bosses in the series. It's messed up. Oh, trying to be fancy with it.
You lose, Kai.
No, we didn't. We depleted your health bar. Again, just gonna stand there and let this happen, whatever that is.
Well, he said we lost, so.
Kill me!
That man is going to bring me the Arcana shortly. You will live to see that.
This is the point where if this was a campaign that cut back and forth between characters, that you would switch to Dante and then play up to this point. But they didn't go that route.
That's just a piece of...
I don't think it's mentioned in that art book, but I do wonder if it was intended to be that way. And then, you know...
someone had the bright fucking idea.
Yeah. And make them, you know, the separate discs to pretend the game is big. I know it's been speculation, but I swear this game cannot need the 2 discs.
Crap like that doesn't interest me.
Final Fantasy X is on 1 DVD, and I don't think it's even a dual layer DVD. Like,
Your swan song will.
heck, Resident Evil 2, the PlayStation 1 version is only 2 discs because of a compression mistake near the end of development, and it was too late to fix it. Oh yeah, that was where Dante's fight was. The boss fight.
What if that fight was just a single sword strike? We couldn't animate any more than that.
Yeah.
Forget about me.
Well, Capcom's... I don't know if they've ever said this officially, but I'm pretty sure their rule with their games is, like, gameplay's not canon. If it doesn't happen in a cutscene, it's not real.
Which means that Dante gave up on this fight after 1 missed sword swipe.
Well, it's why in cutscene, like, Dante can get stabbed and blown up and stuff and not flinch, but when you're playing as him, that will knock your ass over. It's why Resident Evil protagonists never get infected. Why do they get bite and they don't turn? It's because
they have the rare blood type, because they conveniently all have the...
No, I think in canon it's they don't get bite. Bite? They don't get bitten. Because, you know, the gameplay doesn't matter. That's just for the player's expense kind of thing, you know? Alright. Well, okay, we're really barreling through this now.
Thank God.
Why did you save me? I was created by him.
Every hero has a weakness.
But the ritual was created because of me.
I forgot he says that.
There's still time.
He's like, don't worry about it, it's just a character quirk.
Now, is he saying that about, like, him having a weakness for women? Or her weakness being that...
Yeah, yeah.
Where there's a will, right?
Alright.
Mother.
Yes, it is true that we are not tied by blood. But our
Someone knew what they were doing with that camera angle, let me tell you.
experience, which is much deeper than blood. Now go. Everything I know, I have passed on to you.
They really don't like putting spaces after periods in these subtitles.
Thank you, Mother.
Or commas, for that matter.
Cool. Okay.
But we'll also invite the creepy to play.
So I think this is just a repeat of Dante's level here. Okay, you know, I'm gonna get the health up. Yes, I think here it's this this city area. It's demony now.
Oh no, the director of Battlefield Earth took over.
Is that the
John Travolta?
yeah.
Based on the L. Ron Hubbard. Truth-telling.
There we go. I've seen that movie. I'm not gonna claim it's good, but I had a lot of fun watching it.
It's very enjoyable. Maybe not in the ways they intended, but that's what I've always rated movies on, and games on to a certain extent, is I always do 5 points. I don't think you need anything bigger than a 5-point scale, and for me, it's enjoyment for any reason, which is how a movie like a Battlefield Earth can get like a 4 or 5 stars, because I enjoy it a lot. I can rewatch that movie most any day. Just like the best games, the 5-star games in my books are games I can play anytime. The worst thing you can be is boring in my books.
Yeah.
Which is why this game would rate lower on that sort of scale.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm doing a little bit of it here, but, you know, not too much. And you can't really do this on the normal difficulty level. But I have tried to play this game closer to how you would play Devil May Cry 1. And it does not really help things.
Well, there's a way to do that in this game, isn't there? A way to do that proper.
More so, yeah. But I mean, even just, you know, like intentionally not relying on the guns, like trying to build the style meter, like that kind of gameplay. But again, it's just most of the enemies are. The game is fights against you trying to play it that way, just straight up. Oh, that was cool. I think this is optional, but hey.
You are rewarded for your efforts. It's really cool how they use the same animation for this every single time. I know we're spoiled by, like, the weapon acquisitions in DMC 5 and in 4 and 3 and so forth. And, you know, stuff like Dante doing that sick Michael Jackson dance once he gets that hat and DMC 5, shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, I get that you can't always have unique animations for everything, but the fact that it cuts to the same form, it's always the same flashing. Lucia's always taken off guard by it. Dante's always, you know, nonplussed by it. Really does just make all this seem trite.
I mean, I think for the time, having it be, you know, oh, it cuts like a cutscene and it's in engine and stuff like that, that would impress people of the time.
No. You're wrong.
I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but I like think of the difference of, say, playing a video game on the PlayStation 1 era and it just, like, say you're playing Silent Hill 1 and you pick up an item and it just zooms towards the player and it spins and it goes, do you want to pick this up? And there's no animation. I imagine there was a period of time where, like, seeing bespoke animations of, like, oh, you actually get an animation when you pick up this power.
You know what's great about the other approach, the not doing that approach?
Oh, it's
so
much
quicker.
Yeah, it's better.
Doesn't waste your fucking time.
Well, that is the ultimate point I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's better the other way, but there are a lot of, you know, mechanics and design things that have aged poorly or you don't see as much nowadays that, you know, people did really love at a certain point in time, like quick time events, for example.
Gave you something to do during cutscenes, which as they kept getting longer and longer to the point where they were completely bloated and still are to this day.
Yeah, I'm going back a bit because I'm worried I've missed one of those bins. I don't think they're in the same place as they were in Dante's campaign, but I do remember one of them was in the air.
It's there in the air. Code ICP.
Let's see.
All right, what are we looking for here? What item are we?
You remember the thing I was attacking that glowed? You know,
another one of those red
times?
orb gimmicks. Okay.
Not red, but blue.
Okay.
Hang on. It was the first one was here. There's 4 of these in this level.
And you have to hit them all.
Yeah. And this area is a big like lap.
Ugh.
And yep, they're not marked on the map, and of course we've got this camera to deal with.
And of course, the map would be functionally useless even if it did have those things indicated, because it doesn't tell you where you are on the map.
Yeah.
Arbitrary Water says, by the way, that this game, this Devil May Cry 2, is genuinely one of the least favorite games they've played on their stream. It's like the perfect combination of banal and shit.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect fit for the Bad Game Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I do attest that I do think the hardest difficulty is interesting, just because stuff does happen. Like, there are a lot of this has always been the case in the Devil May Cry games, that there are enemy behavior and attacks that they only do on the harder difficulties. But it makes like a bigger difference in this game because the enemies barely do anything on normal. So going through the game again and suddenly seeing these new attacks is just like, oh, it's like I played a whole new game suddenly.
No. Not to me, not by my perception. I get what you're saying, and I can see how someone compartmentalizes in that way.
I'm not saying in a good way, I'm saying in comparison. Like, it doesn't make it good, but it's such a dramatic change in the context of this game. Like, again, does it fix the problems of this game? But it's just, because the only reason I did it was getting a save file on the internet, because I wasn't going to fucking play through both characters 4 times to unlock the hardest difficulty and get all the secret orbs and all that shit. So, I did a save file to do it. But it's, it's like, it felt like if someone had, like, patched the game and it was playing different to how I remembered, because I'd only played it normal in my young years.
Here's my question, I think. I think this is ultimately the thing that I'm... and you said it yourself, so I guess we're probably going to agree on this point, but you didn't want to replay the game 4 times to see, like, the full breadth of content.
Oh, no.
And replaying games to maximize your playability, more than the one time going through a campaign, or, if a game has 2 campaigns, a la Resident Evil, and just going through each of those once... There's very few games I have played in my life that have inspired me to replay them on harder difficulties to scale it up. Resident Evil is an example of one that I actually have.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and so forth. I've absolutely, played the shit out of those games, and worked to improve my time just because I think they're so, they're brief. They're breezy once you know the flow.
Yeah, and they're intentionally designed. Like, they have hooks that they're meant to be replayed. As much as a very low percentage of players actually do that, there is intentional design in there.
Yeah, but
with
ultimately,
the ranking and
ultimately, I usually don't go for that stuff in games. And I mentioned it because later Devil May Cries also seem to reward replaying and seem to encourage you to max out your characters, as it were.
Oh, yeah. Well, even Devil May Cry 1, like, when you beat the game and the game's like, okay, do on hard now. And you do see, what is going on, by the way?
It's trying to focus on the people down below. It expects you to kill them before you go up here. So
okay. I think I'm going to have to, because it's just freaking out so much. And yeah, I think even Devil May Cry 1 does the gimmick that there are attacks that enemies and bosses alike only do on the harder modes.
For me, to really make me want to replay a game, I think the biggest hook, and I guess this is something that Resident Evil does successfully, and maybe one of the reasons why I was encouraged, even in my younger years, to replay those games, is having choices that affect the routes, right? That it's not just new attacks or new behaviors, but having, meaningful differences in how events play out and proceed. The knowledge that, well, if I do this differently, I can see, some new levels. It's what works in rail shooters a lot of the time, right? Is the ability for it to be meaningfully different beyond just a couple of new attacks or harder difficulty or more health, but being able to see a different route through a level.
Yeah.
Reason why I like Ghost Squad so much. Even though it is there's only so many choices, only so many routes, and then when you're really getting into the 1 credit clear scene and knowing what the optimal scoring route is and so forth. It does take a little bit of the oomph and excitement out of that, but by that point you're so invested in it, This is all to say that, I see the later Devil May Cry games, and I hear people who make the argument that, not just with Devil May Cry, but with a lot of games, in a lot of cases where, no, the first playthrough is just you know, that's you feeling your oats. It's learning the game. It's really the second playthrough, the third playthrough is where the game really opens up. And I hear people say that, and I'm just like, I don't take you seriously.
I don't think that's the right way to put it. Maybe, at least for your mindset. The way I look at it is that the first playthrough is basically your practice run. It is the, you know, just get used to what this game is, how it feels.
No, that's a bad way to, for me anyway.
Because you mentioned the alternative paths and seeing different things. Like, the good Devil May Cry games do give the enemy substantially new attacks and behaviors. And in some cases even, you unlock, you know, some of the upgraded moves and stuff you would only unlock on a new playthrough. I'm worried I've looped here. I'm not sure.
I believe you have. Yeah, this is the beginning of the level. Remember the Dutch camera? Remember the battlefield?
Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately I'm missing one.
I thought you hit. Remember the one that it was because you hit one after it told you about the two. It was one with the guys on the ground. You jumped up. Remember that? Did you go back to hit that thing after you killed the guys on the ground?
You know what? I might have missed it. Yes.
Yeah, so left through here, back through that arena, past the weird starfish-looking thing.
I have a feeling... Oh, right, because it was up here. Yep.
Tiger Chimera says the sentiment it's still busted. It's just fucked. Tiger Chimera says something I very agree with, which is that if a game is longer than 2 hours, it should be fun the first time. Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying... Yeah, well, Devil May Cry games are fun the first time.
What I'm ultimately getting to here, and it's something that we've danced around, is...
Yeah, with this game specifically, I'm not saying it gets good on those harder difficulty levels. It's just...
That's not even what I'm addressing here. I get where you're coming from. I'm playing this a little bit of devil's advocate here anyhow. I understand your point.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to specifically address are comments I've gotten in celebrating this game's Bad Game Birthday over on the Twitter and now on the Blue Sky, that I have absolutely received comments from people saying, yeah, you know, the first few playthroughs aren't good, but when you unlock Trish at the end of the game, that's where it really opens up. When your fifth playthrough is playing as her, and you have all the DMC1 moves, the game is great. It's the way the game was meant to be played, and I've always just wanted to respond to those people like, well, that's the way the game was meant to be played. It should have been how the game fucking played from the start.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
you know?
Well, yes. Also, I forgot how over the top this heat effect is. Yeah, this is I've forgotten his name suddenly. Oh, it's on screen. What am I doing? Phantom from Devil May Cry 1. We gotta fight him again. Dante's had his turn. Now it's our turn. Shit. You know, we'll talk about it more because I have a specific clip. Yes. Trish plays better. She is a lot more fun. But there are fundamental issues with this game. With the level design, with the enemy behavior, with how the style meter works, with multiple bosses being designed to fight them ranged only. That it doesn't matter how the character plays, because everything has to be in service of that, and it isn't, because it, you know, and the dev team are very forthcoming about this in that art book, were not experienced or equipped to make a game like that, to make a full console game, 3D, that was meant for multiple replays, that was meant to have that engaging, tight mechanic in combat design that Devil May Cry 1 had. Granted, they had the fighting game, you know, background, so they understood that to an extent. And there is a lot of, like, fighting game kind of feel and ideas in the Devil May Cry series in general. I do not know why you cannot get out of this attack, even if you have Devil Trigger.
Because they wanted you to see that animation. They were really enthused about the way it looks.
It's weird because there are enemy attacks that are grabs that you can use the Devil Trigger to break out of, and then there's just some that you can't. So yeah, so my point about the harder difficulty modes was more the, like, yeah, it makes a game better, but you know, it's relative. It's relative. And
shouldn't those things just be in there from the first go? Shouldn't they be in there from the word go in the first playthrough?
Yeah. The way I described it is that on the hardest difficulty, it is slightly easier than Devil May Cry 1 on normal. Like, it is legitimately that bad still. And anytime there is difficulty, like anytime you take hits, as I mentioned, it's because you can't dodge. It's not player error there. Well, it is in a sense. It's because you're trying to play the game in a way
on
that
its terms.
the game, yeah. You get, which is just this. Ultimately, this is how the game seems to want to be played. And I know there's some people who do defend the game, and it's because I guess they just like shooting at enemies from far away and feeling powerful. But
I mean, I do too. I like the idea of a stylish action game that is more gun-centric than it is melee-centric, just because I think guns in games are fun. I like to shoot. But I look at this and how big the health bars are and how little damage the guns do in a lot of cases, and how it seems like the slower way, the safer way to be sure, but the slower way, and I'm just like, I could never sit through this.
Yeah. And the problem is that, you know, like I said, there are the flying bosses. They have like 2, 3 to 5 times more health on those higher difficulties, and you still have to fight them ranged. So there are some boss fights that are worse and more tedious. It is, yeah. That's the one thankful thing of playing this game on normal is it's a breeze to beat it. Not to experience it, but you know, to defeat the game, get through the mechanics. That part's at least easy.
Meat Shield in chat saying that they like the idea of this game. It's just very, very poorly implemented. Upgrade your damn weapons. Nah, oh well. I'm assuming that upgraded weapons doesn't really do that much more damage per hit, does it?
Not that much. And honestly, the range is the most important one, because again, there are some... Oh, right, no, that's not how you do this bit. You gotta attack this one! So this is just a... This was in Dante's campaign. They spawn a bunch of enemies. You have to clear them out in time. If you don't, they spawn a different wave of enemies that is not quite as tough. And if you don't beat that, it just keeps going down.
Practice for the Bloody Palace mode and just suffering waves upon waves upon waves of enemies. How many levels are there in that?
I think it's 9,999. But the way it works is every time you beat a floor, they put 3 portals in front of you.
You can skip ahead 100, yeah.
Yeah, one goes 1, one goes 10, and the last one goes 100. And the idea is, like, if you think you're struggling, you're supposed to take one of the lower ones. But I messed with it recently. I don't think you get health drops in Bloody Palace in this game.
Thank you, Nocturne Duskclaw, for the raid. We are nearing, hopefully, the end.
Oh, yeah.
Nearing of Lucia's disc and Devil May Cry 2. Keep throwing those knives. Hurry, only 2 minutes left on the clock.
The thing, actually, you do have to really hurry if you want to beat this bit.
Thus spoke. What was the name of the one guy again? Jomo Stumsira. Trying to make a Thus spoke Zarathustra reference here, but such a goofy ass name I couldn't commit it to memory.
Come on.
This is ostensibly a thing that this game is, like, the fun part of it, right, is combat. And so I think, like, the fundamental failing of this game, from my seeing it, from my watching it from afar, is just that this combat is tedious.
Yeah.
Like, you can get into, like, you know, specificities of level design and it not flowing very well, the narrative, which is certainly lacking as well, characterizations, even elements of the progression and leveling up and the grind of these games. I'm sure, like, some people enjoy the grind, or, you know, there are ways to mitigate the grind. But ultimately, just when the combat is dull, that's the foundation of the game. That's the legs being kicked out from under it.
Yeah. You have to remember, though, and I do wonder if there is like a what's it, the crossing circles, I've forgotten, Venn diagram of people who kind of enjoy some of the kind of like mundane repetitiveness of like the PlayStation 2 era Muso games, like a Dynasty Warriors, something like
sit
that.
on to talk about that.
Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not. Nope. Yeah. I legit think on the first playthrough.
No, you got it. I think.
No.
Was that not the last enemy at the last second?
No, because the cutscene played before that enemy died.
Oh.
It died after that cutscene. Because I think I had attacks that were in the air still.
So close.
Luckily,
then.
like I said, the enemies they'll show here will be different, so it gets easier every time. I legit don't know if you could beat that encounter fast enough on the first playthrough. I don't think you would have
the
enough,
tools.
yeah, like fully leveled up enough to do it.
What if you just made like really wise investments with your stats?
Maybe,
your
like,
upgrades?
yeah.
If you just upgraded your weapons, never upgraded your health, and just never took hits.
Yeah, never upgraded health. Maybe not even Devil Trigger.
Ultimately, I like a game that... I get that New Game Plus, you know, is the thing. Is that fully maxing out your character is ultimately, like, you know, what you're working towards. In that people really enjoy, like, successive playthroughs in a Resident Evil 4 or something like that, where you have all your weapons, all your gear from your previous playthrough going into it. But for me, I kind of appreciate when a game doesn't let you get everything in the course of a playthrough. When a game says, hey, focus on the stuff that matters, that works for you, and then next time around, if you want to mix things up, you can try a different build.
Yeah.
And start from scratch.
I will tell you, you know what? So, Devil May Cry 3 has the style system, and you will not get all the styles leveled up in one playthrough, and they're so distinct in their play style that they do fundamentally change how you play the game depending on what style you use. There are some styles that, you know, most players will kind of gravitate towards, like for certain boss fights, like the Trickster one that gives you the dodges. But, you know, like I've watched someone who played through that entire game and never used Swordmaster, for example, so they missed out on maybe like 50% plus of all the moves in that game. And Gunslinger is the like
DMC2 style.
Yeah, but I'll put it in quotes because it has some of the moves that Dante got in this game, but mechanically it's not Devil May Cry 2. The guns don't get crazy strong or anything. They just get like interesting moves that build style meter. So you're using those to get high ranks instead of like melee combat. So it's more about showing off with the guns than it is about using the guns to do crazy damage. There are some like interesting weapons that do, like guns that do really cool damage on those difficulties.
So the guns are like you're basically like buffering for time while you're getting in close and just making sure you're always be shooting when you're not meleeing.
Yeah. Some people like straight up rebind their controls, so they're using like a trigger to shoot or charge.
Wow, what an exciting level that was, by the way. We're really flying through it now. Now they've given up on creating levels that go on for any length of time.
Yeah.
Now that a level just constitutes a single screen.
The only one it feels like they really put, maybe two, is that clock tower kind of indoor bit where you fly up and the underwater level. And the rest are just feel like cut down versions of Dante levels. Okay, well I definitely don't have enough to buy anything, so...
What, that previous level didn't give you enough time to play around in it and to grind out stuff? It's... Perish the thought.
I guess in theory you could just get right to the last enemy and then leave it.
If you're really hard up for orbs.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla Eyes in chat saying, some fellas are so focused on the cheese, they forget the trap.
Oh, where's the door here? I think
Weird
there is
architecture.
a door up here. Or is it not up here? Oh.
Ow.
Okay.
Slime Generator saying even this game wants to wrap the shit up. The developers thought they had a thought for the player. They've suffered enough. Let's.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, as much of a nightmare as it was, like, it sounds like there was a certain point in development where it's like, we're just doing this to get this done. Like,
yeah, give them some blood for the blood goat and let's get out of here.
hey!
The geometry in this room, they really shouldn't have put that big old starfish in the center if it was going to, if the tendrils were going to get in the way of your shit.
Chocolate starfish. Appropriate.
Yeah. I hope the entire soundtrack to that show, to that Devil May Cry show coming out, is all just Limp Bizkit. I hope Fred Durst makes an appearance. I hope he has a contractual clause like he does for his video games, where if you use my music in a game, you gotta put me in the game. If you use my music in a show, you gotta put me in the show.
Yeah, if only.
Have him direct an episode of it. I mean, he's a director now. I've seen The Fanatic. It's...
No, that's a John Troll film I have not seen.
You don't need to. Again, I enjoyed it. It's not good. I can't recommend it to anyone, but... Slime in chat saying that Netflix saw the Bad Game Hall of Fame streaming DMC2 and we're like, all right, we got to capitalize on this. The time is now.
Yeah. Suspicious timing, Netflix.
They know how much our audience loves Limp Bizkit as much as we do.
Alright. Classic beat 'em up elevator section.
I should mention, it's worth mentioning my non-ironic love for Limp Bizkit. So I can completely destroy whatever credibility I may have.
I want to say at the time, because when I was like a very like gothy metalhead kid growing up, I did not appreciate them. But then I got a certain age, I was just like, it's fun. Just get over it.
Yeah,
enjoy it.
And there's some people, I'm sure it starts off as ironic, and then it can become something else later down the line. That's honestly how it happened for me.
I mean, the lyrics, like, that's an ironic enjoyment, but, like, they've got Wes Boland doing crazy stuff with some of their guitar things, and that...
A true genius of the guitar.
Goes over, yeah.
I mean, I prefer his work in Sir Lion, or whatever the name of that band is that had...
I want to say its name's like Stupid Face or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
it's something like that. The name of the song is Sir Lion. Oh, I'm Headful asks, what are your thoughts on Golden Cobra? It's sick. It's a great comeback album. Golden Cobra is a great track off of it, but I prefer Bring It Back. I think is the best cut off of that album. All that 90s shit that sounds like this.
I need to listen to more of it. I think I've only heard the singles.
Bring It Back! Big Dumb Face, the name of the band. The
Big Dumb Face, there we go.
Yeah. See? Like I said, we got Limp Bizkit heads in the chat. The Bad Game Hall of Fame, the Venn diagram of Bad Game Hall of Fame and Limp Bizkit fans. It's a circle, baby. If you don't like that, if you don't agree with that, you don't belong in the tent. Yeah. Alienating half our audience, half our already dwindling audience by forcing them to be Limp Bizkit fans as well, to pledge allegiance to Fred Durst.
Get thirsty with it.
Look, folks, Fred Durst, he's a gamer. That's what you have to realize here, is that he played so much Quake 3 on the Dreamcast. And he did that stream where he was playing games. He streamed for a while, but before Twitch, it was on like the live streamer Ustream days.
Yeah,
prolific games streamer, and Ayanami Ray figure collector.
Yeah,
yeah. You saw the Asuka voice actress, the English language Asuka voice actress, and her creepy ass collection of ephemera of her own character.
Crazy demon floor, it's all wobbly.
I'm Headful asked because their brother, who likes Limp Bizkit, didn't care for Golden Cobra. Yeah, it's... There was a moment in time, and I should say, to my ironic... would start off as an ironic enjoyment, because, in the year 2000, 2001, whenever Limp Bizkit was really breaking through, I was already, like, a snob when it came to, like, metal. I was ready to listen to like Morbid Angel and Deicide and Deicide even, bands like that were much heavier, let's to say the least. So I heard that Limp Bizkit shit and I'm just like, well, this is toothless. But you know, as time goes on, as you listen to Limp Mixbit on in their matchups on YouTube, you begin to realize, oh, this is fun though.
Their I think it's their Limp Bizkit 2013 Mega Mix was blocked on YouTube for a very long time, and then like a year or two ago it came back, and I was happy.
Shoutouts, SA Midnight Crew. Slime Generator Cast, your musical opinion. You bring out the worst in May, but that's okay. I love the hate I have for your music taste. You may be out of style, but I say, turn it up, bitch. Okay, goodbye. That was the joke there was that there was a bunch of musical references within, nestled within that, I believe.
Oh, yeah. This is identical to when Dante did this.
And hey, you know, Slime, that I'm a big Midori fan too, and I know that we'll always have that in common at the very least.
Boom.
I'm just trying to find anything to talk about that isn't this game at this point. I'm just trying to keep the show going. I'm trying to keep the audience engaged somehow, because the game certainly ain't.
Again, people make fun of the reuse in levels in Devil May Cry 4, but they at least remix them, like Dante going through them backwards and all that silly stuff.
Remixed like a Sprite cranberry.
It's a shame. Like Devil May Cry 4 is an interesting weird beast because it took a very long time to make, but it's unfinished. Like they had so many other ideas, and eventually they run out like on time on it, and that's why there's so many reused levels and bosses. I don't know if this is the right way or not. No.
Speaking of remixes and drinks, you're not gonna be able to comment on this, but I tried. This is an impromptu Cast Taco Bell review that I used to do all the time back on social media. I need to pick this gimmick back up of reviewing every new Taco Bell release. I have not tried the new burritos with the grilled cheese layer on them. I hated the grilled cheese burrito. I thought that the shit was greasy in a way I wasn't a fan of. But I have tried the dirty Mountain Dew Baja Blast, the new drink offering, which is Baja Blast with some creme in. They put a layer of creme that you can stir it up and make the Baja Blast taste of cream. And my review of that, 5 stars. That's just great. It's like vanilla Coke, you know? It's just like you put a little bit of vanilla, you put a little bit of sweetness, an extra layer, just a little bit of extra sugar in, and... Now what I need is some of those like orange soda with some cream in, so get like that orange-sicle type beat going. That would be the shit. Fanta vanilla, imagine it. I mean, it'd be orange Fanta with vanilla in. I mean to say.
This came up in Sharky's playthrough, but can you see where you're meant to go in this screen?
To the right.
On
only because you stopped. Only because you stopped and asked the question.
If you didn't stop
observe
there,
that? Yeah.
It is. Whoa! I do like the camera work there. It's so silly. Yeah, this is why I was upgrading the ranged weapons. You do have to fight this stupid piece of shit again.
Answer me my questions 3.
If only. That'd be better. And yeah, it's still weird. This is the only demon boss that talks to the characters.
Destined to die.
Wow, Lucia sure intellectually checkmated that fool. Good point.
Okay, I have to wait.
Oh, this is just like the Metal Gear fight in Metal Gear Solid 2, where you have to fight against...
yeah.
I think I just keep making these Metal Gear comparisons because I'm just praying, wishing this was a better game that I could be talking about.
If only. Which head is taking damage right now?
That is a dumb boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 2, by the way, can I say?
Yeah, it goes on way too long.
It goes on way too long. It makes Snake's accomplishment in the first Metal Gear Solid seem trivial in the previous Metal Gears to boot. And again, this goes on, especially on when you're playing
maybe
on
not that. I do
extreme.
think it makes that specific Metal Gear model seem trivial, but it's like the law is literally that it is.
It's mass produced. Yeah, that it's.
Yeah. You're gonna have to avert your eyes, chat. I use an item. I know.
Well, your rank's gonna suffer. You cheated yourself.
Yep. Look at this. It was worth it. See how much of the health went down. But yeah, I don't know why this boss just wasn't cut. I just would have said cut it.
And then they would have had to design a new boss. At a certain point, they were committed. We need something to happen here. We don't have time to create a new boss, a better boss.
There must have been some producer or exec that was high up enough that when the whole like 2-character 2-disc thing came in was like, well, you're doing that. It has to be that way. And that's why there's so much like content that's just extending the game needlessly.
I mean, okay. All right, you've brought this point up a bunch of times. It's not that I disagree, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here a little bit.
I'll play Devil May Cry 2 instead.
Well, I'd rather not, which is why I'm going to play devil's advocate instead.
Okay, you're right.
A game that we've brought up, because we keep bringing up the same 3 games on this episode that are not Devil May Cry, but original Resident Evil. Boy, howdy, those Chris and Jill campaigns. It sure sucks how much they recycle the same rooms and same bosses in that, huh? Except, you know, it's obviously totally fine in that game, totally acceptable. Even in Resident Evil 2s. And all Resident Evils to follow that have snaking similar campaigns through it, and the amount of content recycling and so forth. Why is it acceptable there and not here?
This is... Okay, I'm going to have to think on this, because I do think it's acceptable there and not here, but I can't
I have the answer.
Why.
Yeah. I have the answer. Let's see if you can figure it out.
It's one of those things where I can feel it, but I don't have the words for it yet. Just tell me.
Because those fights don't go on for 5 fucking hours apiece. Because most of those boss fights in Resident Evil move pretty quickly. Most of the time spent in a room and going backwards and forwards to the room because it's not linear. It is that you're like spending like maybe 30 seconds tops in a room. So it's okay because it is not wasting your time with it. It is just...
Oh, wait. I think you can only hurt this guy when you're... Oh, no, never mind. He just wanted to get one attack out before he fucked off. Yeah, because I was more thinking about not the reused bosses, but like going through the same level and some of the same routes. Because there's some alternative routes.
They're all alternatives. Obviously, the cutscenes that are different, meeting different characters, different solutions to puzzles in some cases. Those are the other things. But in terms of, I was thinking mostly about boss fights. In that case, you know, like fighting the spider again and again. Nemesis fight is effectively the same.
Yeah, but again, a lot of it comes down to the core gameplay. Like the core gameplay in Resident Evil's just good already, so redoing it is good enough. And then you get the bonus of, and it's a different character, and they have
different weapons
in their stats and weapons and the strategy because of the way the inventory works and stuff like that. Oh, did you see that? That guy jumped on my camera.
Very rude of him. He could have just lodged it. He could have done some damage. And we'll be able to frame this action in as great a way as it is right now.
Come here, I'm going to cartwheel in front of you. No! I wanted the health! Whatever. I'm trying to remember if there's actually a boss fight here or not.
Time will tell. It's a shame this is full motion video. It's a shame that when you play with the Diesel outfits, it doesn't also put a Diesel outfit on. Aria's here.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Evil Diesel outfits. Evil Diesel fits. Slime asking, so how memory hold is this game going to be for all y'all? For me, it's going to be immediate.
Yeah.
I'm going to. But for Johnny and Sharky, the memories will remain. I feel. Because you're way more about this Devil May Cry life than I am.
Yeah. I'll have to play some other games and rewrite memory stuff.
Are you going into... Is this the last level here that you're about to...
Yes.
Which I'm assuming is going to be the last boss fight, really, is what it's going to amount to.
Yeah, yeah.
You defeated...
I forgot. No, this game was not meant to have... It was meant to be one campaign, because this makes no sense.
There's just one thing left.
Yeah, we saw Arius powering up the portal, then it's just, oh, you defeated him. Off camera.
I completely forgot that.
Kill me.
This is bad.
Kill me and
This is... Narratively, this is so unsatisfying.
I was a descendant of the clan that protects Videmarli. The ones who have the blood of the devils. But the truth is, I was created by Arius. I could become a monster and attack the humans at any time.
This lady's voice acting bounces between okay and bad.
Yeah, she's definitely struggling with this accent she's putting on.
It's a shame because, you know, I want to like a character in a video game.
Yeah.
I want to like our protagonist in a given game.
She has the more interesting going on. She actually has a plot.
But she doesn't have any character because they don't give her any dialogue to develop her in any sort of way, really, beyond just the revelation, her coming to grips with it. There's no... She has no pulse outside of this.
Yeah. Well, she cares, and she cares about family. She's all about family. Also, she thinks she would turn into a monster, but that's only because Arius told her. He could just have been lying, you know?
But the door to the demon world is... Wait. What are you doing?
My job is hunting devils.
Once you enter the demon world, you may never be able to return.
Nice lens flare effect there.
I'll go. I'm expendable.
What if in this ending Dante's like, all right, see ya. Good point.
I'm happy.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Human.
No. Devils never cry.
But
Let's leave it to fate. Heads, I go. Tails, you...
Introduce a little chaos.
Shut up.
See you around.
don't you want to hear the story about Sparta from Mathieu?
I know.
Oh god,
Did the same thing.
we didn't comment on it, but seeing it there, the texture on Dante's sword is so fucking ugly.
He also looks a bit like he has a runny nose here because of some of the color depth. But
Yeah.
here, have this coin, and it shows the ass of a lady I loved once.
Yeah. Who looks like exactly like my mum.
Arius?
Oh right, he's Solidus from Metal Gear Solid 2.
It seems
I forgot.
finish him off myself.
All right, he has
Why is
katanas, you have katanas. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
The path to forgiveness is cleaned with blood. Well, how can you clean with blood? That would just make things even messier. I mean, blood stains. I don't
Yeah.
get this quote at all. I don't get any of these quotes. The guide posted for the Protectors seems to be a pretty poorly written doctrine. All right, so this is new. This is the new boss. New final boss.
Yeah. Why? Why did he come back? Who knows? Why?
Because we needed someone for her to fight.
Damn the Patriots. I mean, imagine this guy with dual katanas, that would have been way cooler.
Yeah, but would it have helped? when half of his move
okay,
seems to be him
what if,
doing nothing.
Okay, what if this guy was an ex-president in a mech suit and this game was made by Hideo Kojima?
Ooh, they might be cooking something there. That might have had potential. What if this game was fundamentally different in every single way? Ooh, now we're talking.
was just Japan like really? When did Spider-Man 2 come out? The Sam Raimi one.
04?
Ah, okay. So I guess he was the one who was really into these designs.
And they say that a hero can save us.
Because yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 would be before that film. Oh, sick moves. Oh, to see that he did a clothesline.
A lariat. He sure is giving you trouble.
Oh, he's flowing now.
That was loud. It was ineffective, but it was loud, so it's half of me.
Who was that attack for exactly? He was fighting someone else there for a sec.
Second form?
You are not human. You are just a monster. A monster that I created.
Dante told me. Devils never cry.
How's that a response?
Well, she cried, so she's not a devil.
Ah, okay.
It's... There is a underlining theme that they did more with in the future games of like you know, like your birthright doesn't condemn you to your fate kind of thing. You know, like the idea of being demonic by blood doesn't make you evil inherently. Also, yeah, I remember. Look at this fucking William Birkin ass G.
I want just to cut after a cutscene ends. This cuts to her standing somewhere else completely different. I defeated Arias.
Oh, if only. This feels really like. Also, the fact that he's kind of like advancing on you. This feels the most Resident Evil. It's weird that some of that connective tissue to Resident Evil because Devil May Cry, yeah, in this version still.
I mean that's the Capcom circle. That's the Capcom connection is always going to exist there. Fucking exhilarating gameplay, by the way.
I'm curious how long I could get away with this.
How long? You can just finish the fight doing this. This could be the fight if you wanted it to be.
Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me. I'm doing my two-handed mashing method here. There we go. He figured it out.
I mean, it was only temporary. I mean, it's...
That's got to back up.
Alright, you're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
I managed to land on him for a second there.
I noticed you did it earlier, too.
There we go. We'll show that off. Oh, he's munching on me. That's fine. That just gave me Devil Trigger.
Alright, smile, you son of a bitch.
Oh, they were really proud of that, like, polygon exploding effect. They do that a lot in this game.
I don't know why it wasn't very impressive. As a bespoke animation would be for it.
You must not worry, my dear. I am sure that he will return. Everything is just as it was with Sparta.
Here we go. Here's the reveal.
Oh my.
What is it, my dear?
It's a weird delivery for this.
Both sides are...
I told you! Christopher Nolan!
I go.
He saw this! He made Two-Face!
That macho.
Wonder what side it'll land on. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
This is the credits that we didn't get the first time through?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to beat both characters to get this, because both characters show up in the movie here. Now, don't play... I know you're thinking it. Wait, because I just want people to watch this. There is some gameplay in this credits, and it is... it is amazing. Oh, God, look at these credit names. RVT 1000.
People did not want their actual names attached to this.
Yeah.
They're going back to fucking 90s arcade game nicknames.
I think that Akano, he mentioned he's credited as conceptual art. That's not what he did on this game. Alright, yeah, there is some gameplay in this. Here we go. Watch Dante here. Oh, no, not here. Where is it?
It'll come up. Just don't try to preempt it or predict when it happens.
There it is.
Why do we fall, Master Dante? So we can get back up again.
The guy... They recorded this sick ending demo footage, and they couldn't even do that fight without fucking up. Oh, I love that.
Slime Generator says, Cass, suggestion for retaining viewers, don't bring up Limp Bizkit again. I've been distracted looking at pictures of Fred Durst for the past hour. God, I wish that were me. I had to look at this game instead.
This is why we've got to do a Fred Durst night and play all the games that Fred Durst was in.
Fight Club on PS2, that one WWF game.
Well, there's two.
Two WWF games.
There must be a fourth one.
Surely. Hopefully. The Fanatic, the game.
Yeah. Oh, the
4FQC Devil 2. Jesus.
What is that?
You'd have to ask the 4FQ Devil 2 team.
Yeah.
Only they have the answers. We ran out of video.
Oh, do you remember all these sick memories, these photos we took on our journey?
Remember these from the video we were showing you 30 seconds ago? Okay.
Oh, double credits. Yeah, you can...
I can hit the fucking screen for you.
I wonder what these teams did.
A lot of it seems to be like middleware stuff, or not middleware, but like it's like...
yeah.
There we are.
Oh, for successful living. Now I know what I've been doing wrong.
You are now a true devil hunter, whatever that one promotional image.
Yeah. Well, we will get some end screen. I'm not sure what it will say. It'll just be like the normal difficulty one. Ah, poor Itsuno. It's funny, when he first agreed to do this, apparently he was not originally happy that he was not supposed to be credited, but they credited him anyway. And then after the game got made, he actually did not like the fact he was credited.
What's the Japanese equivalent of an Alan Smithy?
Yeah, that's the craziest part of the story, that he was told, oh yeah, we're not crediting you. And then they put extra special focus on his name. And he was like, fuck this, I don't want to be known as the guy who made Devil May Cry 2.
And who would?
And bless him for it, because he made some amazing stuff.
Now loading.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
My job is hunting devils. Devils never cry. I know. He did the same thing.
I'm pretty sure this room asset is directly ripped from the first game. Like, they didn't remodel it or anything.
Sparda did come back.
Every time a motorcycle passes by, she just assumes.
Oh, that's so tragic. Oh, it's just Lobo. Oh, of course. You know, I'm not gonna save. Fuck you.
Sure.
There we go. Hey, I got an A once. I think that's the highest letter grade I've ever got in a Devil May Cry 2 playthrough.
You
Yeah.
are the true king of hell. What's Trish doing there? She didn't show up at all during this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think probably because it's this system save has like the hard mode plus stuff. That's why it gave me that.
That's fair.
There we did. We survived. We didn't pass out from boredom.
And we did within 3 hours, which I'm extra happy about.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So
I knew to skip all those encounters.
Should we get our thoughts out of the way? Should we start off the Trish video? What should we do? What order of events
okay,
should we do
we'll do the video
all right.
first. It's short.
I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna fade this into the background so we can come back and so we can speak over it when we give our final thoughts on it.
Yeah, but to explain this, so your reward for beating each character on hard mode is you unlock on that disc the option to play through their campaign with Trish. And Trish is basically Devil May Cry 1 Dante with a couple of modified move stuff. Fun fact, one guy on his own near the end of development made it all by himself, and because they had modified the engine so much, and apparently they did not have final source code, Itsuno speculates that it's because they were changing so much in Devil May Cry 1 in the final weeks that the final, the thing they pushed off for Gold Press was never saved. They didn't have any of the files to replicate it, so the developer had to play Devil May Cry 1 and just watch the screen and recreate the animations and the timing in Devil May Cry 2.
And did it do a bang-up job of it? Did they manage mostly in their task?
Yeah. So I've created a pre-made video. It's something I prepared a little earlier to showcase Trish in Devil May Cry 2.
Let's get to it.
So, also this footage is playing on the hardest difficulty. And
I can tell.
Yeah. Well, if you notice, the enemies did not automatically get launched in the air.
Ooh.
So it is harder. But so this is
harder is relative. I'm seeing here.
So the main gimmick with her gameplay is the round trip move from Devil May Cry 1, where you throw the sword and it spins around like a Beyblade, but it sticks out for way longer in this game than it does in Devil May Cry 1. And she doesn't have to manually swap weapons when you throw the sword. She just swaps to the gauntlet moves. There's just me doing some of the combos. She actually, not only does she have like the Devil May Cry 1 moveset, the Devil May Cry 1 movement speed and air physics, the combos are done in the Devil May Cry 1 way. She actually does delay inputs, not the weird directional bullshit. She can even cancel animations using the dodge button, which Dante and Lucia cannot do. So she just straight up, it feels so much better. Like, she's so much snappier, her animations are so much quicker. That shows you what some of the enemies can do. She also has this weird move when you're in the air. And she goes underwater. And also, she attacks way faster than Lucia does underwater. She also gets the Nightmare Gun from Devil May Cry 1. She only uses it in the water. For some reason, she gets round trip underwater as well. But this is like a really late gun, I think you get in Devil May Cry 1. But for some reason, she gets it underwater. This is one I wish they... Oh, and she gets this move. I ended up not using it, but that's a Devil Trigger move from Devil May Cry 1.
A weird hodgepodge of stuff.
Yeah. But it's interesting because all this became the basis for her moveset and character gameplay in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. It is an enhanced version of this version of her.
Which is already a Dante light or Dante heavy even, if she gets like all this cool shit.
Yeah, but she gets loads of new like hand-to-hand things. And I put this in because I managed to make the game look kind of stylish for a minute.
Slow down, babe.
And there you go, that's my showcase.
Well, I'm glad we showed that off. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's reopen that disc real quick, just so we can have something in the background as we wrap up our thoughts on this whole experience, this whole excursion. Please to X through that just so it gets to the title screen, gets to whatever demos or what have you. I want you to go ahead, give me your thoughts on the game, then I will read Sharky's and I'll give my own for whatever they're worth.
Yeah. So as mentioned before, when I was a wee little bag in the 2003, around the time I first got my PlayStation 2, this was the first Devil May Cry I played, and I couldn't really tell it was bad at the time. And I know there's a lot of people who, you know, oh, this is a game I played when I was young, I'm nostalgic. I don't have any of that for this game. It does not hold up. I don't get that. I don't really get nostalgia outside of just, oh, I was young. But like, it's not fun to go back to. It is such a hodgepodge. It's not as bad as Malice, but it has a lot of the same, like, you can tell this was cut to shreds and barely strung together. Whoever decided to make the guns as strong and such a big focus, because whoever answered that survey didn't like the guns not being the most powerful weapons, was such a bad choice. I really can't imagine the defense of this game outside of just liking some of Lucia's character points. Like, because even if you didn't like that first Devil May Cry game, like you found it too difficult, you didn't gel with the kind of get good player rewards for the better you play, the more rewards you get system. Like, this is a game where if you try and play it like a hack and slash game, it punishes you. It knocks you over, it locks you into attack strings. So the most efficient way to play the game is to stand on the other side of the room, hold the square button, and then get low style rankings. And like, even for the time, because a lot of the music, you know, music, for example, is that like electric metal industrial stuff. It's even bad by that standard. You know, like a lot of it has that kind of noisy feel, but even by that standard, it's really noise generic. Like trying to hum a melody or anything. There are like iconic themes from Devil May Cry 1 that mishmash of industrial electronic metal that stick with you more than any of those. You know, again, can't blame the developers. Capcom are the ones who fucked up there. But yeah, it's horrendous, and it's trying to squeeze any blood of enjoyment out of stone is really hard. Like, hey, you know, someone's got to love a game. If you love this game, if you can get something out of it, that's great. Bless you for it, but I just can't imagine it.
All right, I think that's good. I didn't mean to say all right, and that's I think that covers a lot of bases, and I think that's a fair assessment of it. And yeah, again, it's not to yuck people's yum if they happen to vibe with this game. You know, I would hope that people are able to listen to see what we saw here tonight and understand why the general consensus does not favor this game. That even fans of this have to understand how it is not necessarily beloved by most. That they are in the outliers in that little community. I promised Sharky's thoughts. I have them here. I'm going to read now. This is what Sharky sent me. And I'm not going to try to put on a Sharky voice. I'm just going to read this. There's no doubt in my mind that Devil May Cry 2 is the weakest entry in the series. The story, settings, and pacing feel slapdash, which makes sense given how chaotic development of this game came across in interviews. The gameplay feels like an overcorrection to DMC1's difficulty by encouraging passivity in play. It makes far more sense now to just sit at a distance and plug away with guns than it does to charge into a fight, making for an easier but less engaging game. Even if we just look at this as solely the sequel to the original and ignore the games that came afterwards, this feels like both a bad DMC game and a bad character action game. But still, I found myself going back to play more of it after the streams were done, and at some point soon I'll go back to play Lucia's campaign on my own. There are still germs of good ideas in there, like the ability to more easily incorporate gunplay into your combos, and the option to customize your devil trigger forms. I played some other also-rans of the genre while doing this playthrough, like Castlevania Lament of Innocence, and The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, an often neglected stylish action game. That's my insert. And it became clear that there are certain things in terms of basic gameplay feel that the Devil May Cry series manages to pull off so effortlessly where other games stumble, and that core satisfaction is still present in DMC2, even if it's diminished. Still, that can't save it from very uninspired enemy encounters in secret rooms, weapons with no variation in movesets whatsoever, and agonizingly tedious boss fights against stationary foes that barely need you to even pay attention. It's far from the worst stylish action game I've played, and it's one that I'm likely to revisit in the future for my own enjoyment, but it's absolutely a non-essential title in the greater canon. I always encourage people to try bad games for themselves, but if you were to bounce off of this in the first few levels out of boredom, I certainly wouldn't blame you. Thank you, Sharky, for that. Another good take on this. I know I didn't play the game. I was just poor witness to it twice over. But if I can give my little piece. I wish this game were better. I wish, as mentioned earlier, that there was a stylish action game, or more stylish action games that were gun-centric. I think that is an interesting choice. I think that it seems like a choice that they focus on the guns. I mean, look at this trailer, for Christ's sake. Look at this footage and how gun-centric it is. But this doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like the combos are really particularly exciting. It doesn't seem stylish in the way that you would hope a stylish action game would be. It lacks that panache. I just don't get any sense of panache or excitement or any sort of pulse from this. It seems like a game made out of contractual obligation with the most flat characterization in a series that would come to be known in the future for exciting and wild characterization, for over-the-top characterization. And, that seems like a failing. And just narratively speaking, I'm the one who always hones in on the narrative these days, I feel. I think it's always my biggest gripe with so many of these games. And this game is certainly weak in that department. Lucia's whole campaign feels like a completely disconnected, completely irrelevant. It makes her seem like second fiddle in what is ostensibly meant to be her game, the one that showcases her, the disc. She gets an entire damn disc, and they barely do anything with it. Beyond the repeating levels and whatnot, you can get into the gameplay end of how they completely waste her in this. But just narratively speaking, it does not inspire confidence in the continuation of a series when one character is missing like all of the context in the game. It does not get to watch the big boss fights happen, and they have to awkwardly cut around these things. That strikes me as pretty embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I was a developer on this game and it came out in the form that it is in, which I imagine they were, and what I gather from your commentary and what the art book and so on and so forth has laid out is that people were generally embarrassed by their participation in this. They felt like they did not do the first game justice and wanted to redeem themselves. And it's a good thing they got the chance to in the cases of whoever carried over from this team onto the next one. But my God, what a disjointed, underwhelming, ultimately just boring. And that's the most damning thing I could say about anything is when it's boring. And this game is most certainly fucking boring. And so I can never see myself playing a game like this. Watching it was enough for me. So I can't echo Charky's sentiment, but I guess I also wasn't the one who played through it. So, I mean, maybe it feels a little bit better behind the controller rather than sitting, watching through the window or what have you. But I just can't imagine it being... I look at it, I feel like I know how it plays. I feel like I understand from watching it more or less what it's about. And I can't say I was impressed by the product on offer.
Charky's, though, did remind me that, there is some weird hidden tech in the game. If you were someone who was really curious to play this, I would be the person to say, find 100% save, mess around with a couple of levels on the hardest difficulty, maybe go in the Bloody Palace, mess with all the characters. But, and because, as Charky mentioned, there are some interesting ideas about those gun moves and the multiple devil modes, which I didn't mention, and if you do play on the harder difficulties, the unique attack powers like the flame, the ice, the electric, and there's also a time stop one that I think we didn't get, can mess with the gameplay more. But most of those ideas are just in Devil May Cry 3 if you play with Gunslinger. You get the multiple styles, you get the using the gun moves as the to show off and do the stylish thing and knock multiple enemy around and thing like that.
You can give a player a
So
million different tools. You can give a
yeah.
player like so many different kits and things that they can do and
Yeah.
ways to alter the action. But if the underlying combat loop is still people standing still and waiting to be shot or waiting to be attacked 90% of the time,
that's the biggest problem. Yeah. So like that's the best thing I could say about this game is that any of its ideas that were like good ideas but in the wrong recipe, they got to do something with in the future, and that's awesome. You know.
good for them. Bad for players they had to suffer through this. Bad for players that they, this could have derailed the whole thing. But ultimately, it righted itself, and I guess that's the key thing: is that even through this, they were able to persevere through this game into better games. But I think that covers the ground. I think that covers all the angles here. We could have shown off Bloody Palace mode for whatever that's worth. It would have been more exciting combats in this game where we've done nothing but talk about how boring the combat is. So I think we're just gonna wrap it up here. Folks, we thank you for tuning into this third episode. It wasn't originally planned to be me on it. I hope I did okay. I hope I kept the conversation moving. I hope I raised at least a couple points that were worth considering. And I feel like I kept Johnny on track. We're finishing on time, so that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah.
Again, Sharky wishes they could have been here, and I feel bad for them that they weren't able to, but I was glad I was able to at least convey their sentiments on the game. They're at least able to get that written up while they are feeling a little under the weather right now. They will return. They should be back by Saturday with any luck, where we have a pitiful party game stream planned, which should be an exciting one. Should I reveal the game? I think I will. It's going to be Garfield Lasagna Party. We're going to get all four of us on deck to play through that. So look forward to that, Johnny. So with any luck, that goes off without a hitch. Or with any luck, we're able to keep the schedule on that one. Tuesday coming up, we should have the exciting conclusion to Skyscraper, with any luck at all. And Thursday, what we currently have ongoing, if you're on the Discord or on Patreon, if you're financially supporting the show, you can currently vote in a poll for our next Thursday playthrough. Now that this game has wrapped up, the poll is currently ongoing. The theme, as it were, are Max Payne at home games. These are games that we feel, third-person shooters that embody a bit of that Max Payne spirit, typically starring cops, doing slow motion and bullet ballet and the like. The choices on this poll, there are 5 of them. We are offering you the choice between Dead to Rights, El Matador, John Woo's Stranglehold, Made Man, and Total Overdose. All fine choices for knockoff Max Payne games. So if you are a financial supporter, if you are a patron, a backer, if you're a subscriber on Twitch, or a member on YouTube, all of the above will grant you access on our Discord server to the Patreon Saints channel where that poll is going. Patreon supporters additionally get to vote on the Patreon page itself. And that's a great way to support the show. That's how we, if you like this thing that we do, if you enjoy what we put out, and you're able to spare the money, we would greatly appreciate it. If you're not able to financially support us, we completely understand. We would ask that if you want to help out the show still, consider sharing these videos with folk you know. We have a playlist on YouTube, don't you know? It's called Suggested Viewing. It contains 20 hand-picked episodes of the show that we think make for good onboarding onto this Bad Game Hall of Fame. Or maybe, you know, a Devil May Cry diehard in your life who would appreciate this playthrough. Send them the playlist for this, why don't you? We leave it to your discretion, dear viewer. Let me think. If there's one more thing I can mention at the end here before we depart for the night, before we close out the show, it is that, Johnny, we are working to still get your dedicated time slot up. We are working to put together an intro package, some things to delineate your show from the typical show that we put on. You'll play a more expansive range of games on there, maybe not all necessarily bad even. And I do hope that folk watching will support you in that endeavor as we endeavor to launch it in the next month or so, maybe in the next few weeks if we can nail that stuff down. I know we haven't locked down the time for it necessarily, but Fridays will be the day. Ideally for you to put on your time slot. And I would ask you to, since you got us through the game tonight, tell people what they might expect from a bag game Hall of Fame episode.
Yeah, well, there's going to be potentially an extended series, but it will probably be more about like my taste in gaming. I think people who are familiar with the stuff I've hosted now, that I have a love for the 6th generation and a lot of the just random stuff that came out around those times. But you know, the main thing as well is just to help reach the people in different time zones.
Yes,
I know we have some Euro fan base, and even though I operate in a somewhat East Coast time,
even though you're the most American Brit I know, as well. But still, we hope people will follow. We hope that if you enjoyed what you saw here, expect more along these lines. I will play a little bit of inside baseball here, and admit that this was that this Devil May Cry 2 playthrough did not excite the world in the ways that we maybe not necessarily expected it to, but that this is a game that was a bit tougher to get through. But I really do stand by these episodes. I want to say as the person who watched the first two and came on for this third one. I really do believe strongly in my commentary crew, in my co-hosts, in Johnny, in Sharky, in Sid, and that the design insights that you're able to offer, your expertise in the 6th generation and beyond, and in this style of game, and in other genres of game. I know you as a prolific skateboarding fan of extreme sports games and so forth, and I just want to be able to cover more of this stuff. Again, this is for me personally, like a game like this, I would never be able to play through all of this. I would have gotten frustrated with it, or just otherwise it's been so negative it would have been unwatchable in its own way. You don't want to watch me play a game like this, and so I'm so glad to have people on, to have a team that is able to cover the bases, cover games that I wouldn't necessarily myself, or that I would do something of a disservice to. So for those of you who in the audience who have stuck with us through these 3 episodes, who are concluding the series now, we really do thank you for sticking with it, for taking an interest. We hope that you were able to see what Sharky and Johnny here bring to the table in terms of insights, in terms of things that I would most certainly not have as good a grasp on, not be able to articulate quite as well. And that's, I think, the strength of the Bad Game Hall of Fame. I think that's the thing that we do here on this show that I'm really proud of. I think it really sets us apart. I really hope to expand this stuff. We want to keep the show growing. And so again, this is all a long-winded way of appealing to folk who have stuck through to this moment, who have sat through everything, and sat through all this rambling and so on and so forth from me at the end here, to say that if you like this show, if you appreciate the things we're doing, please join the Discord server. Please join the community. Please show up. We want you in the clubhouse. We want you in the tent. We want to hear what you have to say. We want you to help steer the direction of the show. We want to put on a show that y'all are happy with and enjoy. And we want to make sure that we're hearing you out. We want to make sure that we're putting on the best show we can. And I feel very strongly about our show. I think we do put on a great damn show. That's all I really wanted to say. I know it's meandering. I know I talk in circles. I know I'm a bit of a rambler on the best of days, but I just felt obligate to put that out there, to just show appreciation for folk who do commit to a series like this, who do stick through to it to the end, to this moment. I don't know if you have anything you want to say to folk who have stuck with us for this long, Johnny, here at the end of all things.
Yeah. And like I said, like Devil May Cry 2 does have this reputation for being boring. But, like, I do like to think me and Sharky brought as much to the table as we could, showed the the development and all the interest aspect. And you know, a devil may cry on these streams in the future. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes, I think it was important before that game that you're alluding to. I won't spoil which one it is, but to have this one in the back pocket first, to have this playthrough done and dusted before we tackle the subject of a particular reboot. But that will come at a later time, later date, future showing. For now, we're just going to close out the show tonight with I have been Devil Hunter Cassidy.
And I've been Devilman Crybaby, Johnny Baghead. Wait. That sounds wrong.
We'll workshop it. But for now, from Sharky, who I'm not going to try to give a nickname to at the end of this again, from all of us here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame, thank you. And bye!
Good night, everybody.